In the bustling marine research community of Long Island, New York, Dr. Ava Simmons, a dedicated marine biologist, embarked on a groundbreaking research project. Her focus was on the behavioral patterns of sharks in the North Atlantic, a study that aimed to demystify these often misunderstood creatures. Ava, known for her fearless approach and innovative methods, believed that close observation in their natural habitat was key to unlocking new insights. In early June 2001, Ava set off to a remote island off the coast of Long Island, a place known for its rich marine life and notably, its diverse shark population. She planned to spend a week on the island, conducting underwater observations using state-of-the-art technology, including drones and underwater cameras. Ava's base camp was a small, weather-beaten cabin on the island's edge, surrounded by the vast expanse of the ocean. She had all the essentials for her stay: research equipment, provisions, and a small boat for her daily excursions. Her only companion was her loyal assistant, Mark, a young marine science graduate eager to learn from one of the best in the field. Ava and Mark ventured into the ocean daily, tracking and observing the sharks from a safe distance. Ava's method was to blend into the environment as much as possible, using a specialized diving suit that mimicked the texture and color of the seabed. Her approach worked. They gathered valuable data, observing the sharks' natural behaviors without disturbing them. However, on the fourth day, something extraordinary happened. While Ava was submerged, a curious great white shark, larger than any she had seen before, approached her. Its size was imposing, yet its movements were graceful, almost gentle. Ava's heart raced. She was both exhilarated and terrified. She knew she had to remain calm. Sudden movements could provoke the shark. The shark circled Ava, its dark eyes seeming to study her. Ava stayed as still as possible, her training telling her that the shark was more curious than aggressive. Watching from the boat, Mark was ready to intervene, but Ava signaled him to stay back. This was a rare opportunity to observe up close. The shark and Ava shared the water for several long minutes, a silent dance of predator and observer. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the shark swam away, disappearing into the deep blue. Ava emerged from the water, her heart still pounding, her mind racing with what she had just experienced. Back at the cabin, Ava documented the encounter in her research log that evening. This was more than just a close call. It was a moment of connection, a glimpse into the intelligence and complexity of these magnificent creatures. The following days brought more observations, but none as intense as her encounter with the great white. Ava's respect for these animals deepened, and she felt a renewed sense of purpose in her research. Her findings would contribute to the scientific understanding of sharks and the conservation efforts to protect them. Ava and Mark packed their equipment as the week ended, ready to return to the mainland. Ava looked at the ocean one last time, knowing that this trip had forever changed her perspective. The journey back to Long Island was quiet, with Ava lost in thought, replaying the encounter with the great white shark repeatedly in her mind. It was a moment that blurred the lines between observer and participant, a reminder of how little we truly understand about these creatures of the deep. Ava's findings at the Marine Research Facility stirred excitement among her peers. Her close encounter in particular sparked a flurry of discussions. The footage she captured was unlike anything they had seen before, providing unprecedented insights into shark behavior. But for Ava, the experience had left her with more questions than answers. Driven by her newfound curiosity, Ava dedicated the following months to analyzing the data. She worked tirelessly, piecing together the great white's behavior puzzle. Her research began to suggest something revolutionary, that these sharks might possess a level of curiosity and intelligence that had previously been underestimated. The academic world buzzed with the implications of Ava's research. Invitations to speak at conferences and contribute to prestigious journals poured in. Ava, however, remained focused on her work, knowing that this was just the beginning of a longer journey of discovery. Ava prepared for a return trip to the island as the months turned into a year. This time, her mission was to establish a more permanent research station, allowing for continuous observation and study of the sharks in that region. Now a more experienced researcher under Ava's mentorship, Mark joined her again. The new research station, a blend of technology and sustainability, was a testament to Ava's vision. Equipped with advanced tracking systems, underwater drones, and a dedicated team of researchers, it was a hub of shark research unlike anything that had existed before. Ava's work began to shift the public perception of sharks. She advocated for their conservation through her publications and talks, dispelling the myths and fears that had long surrounded these animals. She emphasized the importance of sharks in the marine ecosystem and the urgent need to protect them. 2 years after her initial encounter, Ava found herself again in the waters off the island, observing a group of great whites. Among them, she recognized the distinctive markings of the shark that had approached her that fateful day. It was a surreal moment, a silent acknowledgement between researcher and subject. Ava's research continued, contributing significantly to the field of marine biology. Her experience with the great white became a cornerstone of her career, a story she often shared to inspire others. It was a tale of respect, discovery, and the endless mysteries of the ocean. Years later, Ava retired, leaving behind a legacy of groundbreaking research and a new generation of marine biologists who continued her work. The research station on the island remained a beacon of learning and conservation in the vast, unexplored waters of the world. As Ava looked back on her career, she realized that her greatest discovery wasn't in the data or the accolades, but in her profound connection with the ocean and its inhabitants. It was a reminder that in the depths of the sea, there are wonders beyond our imagination, waiting to be uncovered. In the serene coastal town of Willow Bay in the summer of 2003, the locals whispered tales of the deep waters beyond the bay, a place rumored to be a shark haven. The protagonist of our tale, 37-year-old surfer Daniel Thompson, had always been intrigued by the ocean's mysteries. A man of courage and adventure, Daniel decided to venture into the infamous waters, challenging the fears of the townsfolk and perhaps his own. Daniel was a seasoned surfer with golden hair sun-bleached from years of riding waves. His physique bore the testament of a life spent battling the ocean's forces, a true warrior of the waves. On this fateful day, the sky was a clear azure, mirroring the deep blue sea that beckoned him. He paddled further, the shore becoming a distant memory as he ventured into the uncharted waters, his heart pounding with fear and exhilaration. As he maneuvered through the waves, the unexpected happened. A shadow lurked beneath the crystal-clear waters, a formidable predator in its domain, a shark. The town's tales were not just stories but warnings grounded in reality. The shark circled, its fin cutting through the water's surface, creating a terrifying yet mesmerizing pattern. Daniel's heart raced, adrenaline pumping through his veins as he tried to maintain a steady breath, his experienced eyes scanning for an escape route. In a heartbeat, chaos erupted. The shark lunged, its jaws snapping dangerously close to Daniel's leg. Panic surged as he paddled fiercely, employing every ounce of his strength and surfing skill to evade the predator. The chase was a terrifying dance between man and beast, a test of wills in the heart of the ocean. When all hope seemed lost, a figure appeared from the depths, a fellow surfer named Emily Rodriguez. A local legend in Willow Bay, Emily was known for her bravery and unmatched skills on the waves. With a heart as vast as the ocean, she darted towards Daniel, her board slicing through the water with precision and speed. In a heroic display of teamwork and courage, Emily managed to distract the shark, leading it away from Daniel. The moments felt like hours as Daniel paddled toward safety, his body shaking and his mind swirling with fear and gratitude. Emily returned, her face a canvas of determination and relief as she reached Daniel, pulling him onto her board. Together they rode the waves back to the shore, a symphony of breaths heavy with the weight of survival echoing in harmony with the ocean's roar. The community gathered, their faces a mixture of awe and concern as they welcomed the brave surfers back to solid ground. Daniel bore scratches and bruises, a testimony to the harrowing encounter in the shark-infested waters. But he was alive, saved by the bravery of a fellow surfer, a woman who dared to face the feared predator of the deep. As he lay on the sandy beach, the pain was overshadowed by a profound sense of gratitude and the birth of a deep bond forged in the crucible of danger. In the days that followed, Daniel healed, his body and spirit mending through the care of the community and the unwavering support of Emily. The tale of their encounter became a legend in Willow Bay, a story of courage, survival, and the unyielding human spirit that dared to challenge the fearsome forces of nature. In the weeks that followed the harrowing encounter, the town of Willow Bay buzzed with whispers and exclamations, recounting the tale of the brave surfers who faced the fearsome predator of the deep and lived to tell the tale. The community rallied around Daniel and Emily, their story becoming a beacon of courage and unity, a testament to the human spirit's resilience. Daniel Thompson, the man who dared to venture into the unknown, was grappling with the memories of that fateful day. Once a source of joy and freedom, the ocean now bore the scars of fear and danger. Yet amidst the turmoil, a deep bond blossomed between him and his savior, Emily Rodriguez. Their shared experience forged a connection stronger than the mightiest waves, a friendship rooted in bravery and mutual respect. As Daniel's physical wounds healed, the duo spent hours recounting their adventures on the waves, sharing laughter and dreams, their spirits dancing in harmony with the rhythmic song of the sea. With her fearless heart and wise soul, Emily guided Daniel, helping him navigate the stormy seas of trauma and steering him toward healing and acceptance. The summer sun continued to grace the coastal town, its golden rays weaving tales of hope and renewal. The community of Willow Bay embarked on a journey of education and awareness led by the brave surfers. Together, they initiated programs to better understand the majestic creatures of the deep, transforming fear into knowledge and ignorance into understanding. As the day approached to commemorate their survival, a ceremony was organized at the heart of the town, a celebration of courage and resilience. The community gathered, their faces glowing with pride and admiration, their hearts united in spirit, pulsating with anticipation and pride. Daniel stood before them, a living testament to the spirit of survival, his eyes reflecting a depth of understanding, a maturity born from facing the fearsome forces of nature. Emily was by his side, her presence a pillar of strength, a beacon of bravery. Together they shared their tale of courage, quick thinking, and the deep bond forged in the crucible of danger. As they spoke, the community listened with bated breath, their eyes welling with tears of pride and empathy, their hearts swelling with admiration and respect for the brave souls who had faced the ocean's might and returned to tell the tale. The ceremony concluded with a standing ovation, a symphony of applause reverberating through the air, a celebration of life, courage, and the unyielding spirit of survival. Daniel and Emily stood together, their hands raised in victory, their faces radiant with smiles that bore the light of 1,000 suns, embodying courage, friendship, and the unyielding spirit of survival. In the heart of Willow Bay, a legend was born, a tale of two brave souls who ventured into the shark-infested waters and returned with a story of survival, friendship, and the beautiful dance of life. A dance of fear faced, challenges met, and a deep bond forged in the crucible of danger. A testimony to the human spirit's indomitable force. In the small coastal town of Lefties, West Australia, known for its rugged coastline and thrilling surf spots, a legend had long been whispered among the surfing community. It was about a colossal and untamed wave that appeared only under specific conditions. This wave, known as the Titan, had a fearsome reputation for being infested with sharks, a detail that only added to its mystique. Among the surfers who frequented Lefties, one stood out for his skill and fearlessness: Jack Morrison. A seasoned surfer with sun-bleached hair and a collection of surfing trophies, Jack had conquered waves around the world. But the Titan remained his unfulfilled challenge, a personal Everest he was determined to conquer. The locals, well-versed in the tales of the Titan, often warned Jack of its dangers. They spoke of experienced surfers who had dared to ride the wave, but encountered the sharks that lurked beneath, never to be seen again. Jack, however, was undeterred. To him, the Titan was the ultimate test, a chance to prove his mastery over the sea. As spring rolled into summer, the conditions for the Titan began to materialize. The air buzzed with anticipation. Surfers and locals alike knew that the Titan was about to awaken. Jack prepared meticulously, checking his equipment and discussing strategies with his longtime friend and fellow surfer, Lucas. On the day the Titan was expected to appear, the beach was crowded with onlookers, their eyes fixed on the horizon. The sea was unusually calm, but there was a palpable tension in the air. Jack surveyed the ocean, dressed in his wetsuit, waiting for the right moment. As if on cue, the water began to swell, and a massive wave started to form in the distance. The crowd gasped as the Titan emerged, its mighty crest a spectacle of nature's raw power. Jack paddled out, his heart pounding with excitement and a hint of fear. As he approached the towering wave, he could feel the force of the water beneath him. He paddled harder, positioning himself. With a deep breath, he stood up on his board, riding along the crest of the Titan. The thrill was indescribable. He was a speck on a mountain of water, conquering the legendary wave. But as he maneuvered down the wave's face, Jack noticed dark shapes in the water below. Sharks, attracted by the movement and the gathering of fish disturbed by the wave, were swimming just beneath the surface. Jack's mind raced. He needed to stay on the wave and away from the sharks. As he neared the end of the wave, one of the sharks, a massive great white, leaped out of the water, its jaws wide open. Jack narrowly avoided it, feeling the whoosh of air as the shark snapped its jaws shut just inches from him. Jack's heart hammered in his chest as the great white shark plunged back into the ocean, its powerful tail sending a water spray. The crowd on the beach, witnessing this terrifying spectacle, stood frozen in shock. Jack knew he had to act fast. The waters around him were now a hunting ground. He kept his balance, riding the wave with a newfound urgency. His mind, trained from years of surfing, was acutely aware of every movement in the water. Once thrilling, the wave became his escape route from the looming danger below. As Jack neared the shallower waters, another shark, encouraged by the presence of the great white, darted toward him. Its dark silhouette moved swiftly, cutting through the water. Jack, seeing the imminent threat, made a split-second decision. He jumped off his board, aiming for a wave to push him towards the shore. Confused by the sudden movement, the shark missed Jack and collided with his board, sending it flying into the air. Jack, submerged, kicked hard, propelling himself towards the beach. His lungs screamed for air, but he knew he couldn't surface yet. The sharks were still too close. Underwater, Jack's world was a blur of bubbles and shadows. He swam with all his might, driven by instinct and the will to survive. Finally, he broke the surface, gasping for air, and continued to swim towards the safety of the shore. The crowd, now in a state of panic, rushed to help. Lucas and other surfers dove into the water, forming a human chain to reach Jack. They grabbed him as another shark approached, its fins slicing through the water ominously close. Together, they pulled Jack to the beach, where he collapsed, exhausted and shaken but alive. The beach erupted in a mix of cheers and cries of relief. The Coast Guard, alerted by the commotion, arrived swiftly, their boat cutting through the waves to ward off the sharks still circling nearby. Jack lay on the sand, his breathing heavy and eyes staring at the sky. He had ridden the Titan at a cost he hadn't anticipated. The reality of what could have been a fatal encounter settled in. Around him, friends and strangers alike offered comfort and praise for his bravery, but Jack's thoughts were elsewhere. In the days that followed, Jack's encounter with the sharks became the talk of the town. News crews and journalists descended on lefties, eager to capture the story of the surfer who had faced the Titan and survived a shark attack. Jack, however, was introspective, his brush with death having given him a new perspective on life and the ocean. He spoke to the media not about his triumph over the wave, but about respect for nature and the need for caution in the water. His story highlighted shark conservation efforts and the importance of understanding these misunderstood creatures. Jack continued to surf, but he was more cautious, more respectful of the ocean's power. He shared his experience with young surfers, teaching them the thrill of riding waves and the dangers that lurk beneath. The legend of the Titan and Jack's encounter with the sharks became a cautionary tale, a reminder to all who ventured into the waters of lefties. It was a story of adventure, survival, and respect for the natural world, echoing through the surfing community for years. In the haunting shadows cast by recent events, the serene waters off South Australia had become the unsettling backdrop to a series of tragic encounters between humans and the ocean's apex predators. The disquieting narrative deepened with the news of a third fatal shark attack in the region, claiming the life of 15-year-old surfer Kai Cowley. The remote Ethel Beach on the York Peninsula, where the incident unfolded, was a chilling reminder that even the most idyllic coastal landscapes can harbor unseen dangers. Kai, surfing alongside his father, fell victim to a suspected great white shark on that ominous Thursday, etching his name into the sad record of lives lost to the enigmatic depths. As authorities grappled with the aftermath of this heart-wrenching episode, the waters off South Australia held the echoes of a tale that transcended the idyllic facade of seaside bliss, delving into the complex relationship between humanity and the formidable inhabitants of the Southern Ocean. The somber echoes of tragedy lingered on the shores of South Australia as emergency services, grappling with the harsh reality, were unable to revive the 15-year-old Kai Cowley after the suspected great white shark attack. This heart-wrenching incident now stood as the third fatal shark encounter off the state's coast in recent months, casting a shadow over the idyllic beaches that had become the backdrop to these harrowing narratives. The chilling chronicle extended beyond Kai's tragic demise, weaving into the fabric of a larger, troubling pattern. Surfers met a similarly grim fate in remote parts of South Australia in May and October. Their bodies were lost to the unrelenting depths. South Australia's Premier, Peter Malinauskas, confronted the stark reality that since 2000, 11 fatal shark attacks have unfolded in the state's waters. The revelation that 3 of these fatalities occurred in the span of a few months sparked profound concern. In the face of this rising toll, the Premier acknowledged the limited capacity of the government to enhance beach safety, particularly in the remote expanses outside Adelaide, the state capital. The story unfolded as a tapestry of loss, raising questions about the delicate balance between human recreation and the unpredictable forces that govern the Southern Ocean's enigmatic depths. In the calm echoes of Ethel Beach's remote beauty, the unfolding tragedy took a visceral turn as a surfer became an unwitting participant in a battle for life against the shadows of the Southern Ocean. A first-hand account shared with local media brought forth the heart-wrenching scene. A father perched on the rocks, his anguished cries blending with the crashing waves as his son desperately swam toward him. Standing in waist-deep water, the witness faced a critical juncture, a moment of life-altering decision. Opting for a rapid retreat into chest-deep waters, the surfer found himself trapped in the relentless grip of the ocean's apex predator. Undeterred by the surfer's frantic sprint, the great white shark dragged him back towards the shore, where a horrified crowd witnessed the unfolding tragedy. Paramedics who had been summoned to the grim tableau engaged in a race against time, their efforts to treat the surfer's injuries painting a futile struggle against the relentless forces at play. This heart-rending episode, embedded in the sands of Ethel Beach on the York Peninsula in southern Australia, was a stark reminder of the unpredictable dance between humanity and the formidable denizens of the deep. As the popular yet secluded tourist spot grappled with the aftermath of this devastating encounter, the incident became a poignant chapter in the complex narrative that binds human recreation with the untamed forces of the Southern Ocean. In the aftermath of the tragic encounter at Ethel Beach, the poignant narrative of Kai Cowley gains depth, revealing a vibrant young life that held promise in the realm of surfing. Just 2 weeks before his untimely demise, Kai showcased his talent, securing the impressive 146th rank among under-18 surfers in the country. His accomplishments resonated within the tight-knit community, earning him the title of the most outstanding Grom performer by his local Seaview Roadboard Riders Surf Club. These accolades, now woven into the fabric of his legacy, illuminated Kai's profound impact on the surfing world at such a tender age. The tragedy of his passing cast a shadow not only on the remote shores of Ethel Beach, but it also reverberated through the broader surfing community, leaving admirers and fellow surfers grappling with the loss of a rising star, whose potential was extinguished by the unrelenting forces of the sea. In the wake of the tragic events at Ethel Beach, the broader surfing community rallied to pay homage to the vibrant young talent lost to the unforgiving waves. In an Instagram post laden with sorrow, Surfing South Australia expressed their condolences and shared the collective grief of the surfing fraternity. After the devastating news that one of their Grom surfers, Kai, was involved in a fatal incident at Ethel Beach on December 28th, they had been keeping Kai's family and friends in their thoughts. That was the post that read, encapsulating the somber acknowledgement of life extinguished too soon. In eulogizing Kai, Surfing South Australia shed light on the boy's profound impact on the surfing community. He was not merely a participant. His passion for riding the waves ran deep, rooted in a family with a storied history in South Australia's surfing culture. The post resonated not only as a tribute but as a testament to the enduring spirit of a young surfer, whose connection to the ocean was interwoven with familial legacies and a profound love for the sport. As the story of Kai Cowley unfolded against the backdrop of Australia's coastal waters, a sobering reality came to light. In this vast expanse, home to over 160 species of sharks, South Australia stood out for hosting 5 species deemed dangerous by local authorities: the white shark, the common thresher shark, the short-fin mako shark, the bronze whaler shark, and the dusky shark. These formidable inhabitants of the Southern Ocean contributed to the intricate tapestry of marine life and underscored the inherent risks accompanying human interaction with the sea. The delicate balance between admiration for these creatures and the potential threat they pose becomes increasingly apparent. A glimpse into the broader global context, provided by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, revealed that despite the vast diversity of shark species, only a mere dozen had been implicated in attacks on humans. This revelation prompts reflection on the nuanced relationship between humanity and the myriad inhabitants of the world's oceans, urging a reconsideration of the intricate dance between fascination and the ever-present specter of danger lurking beneath the waves. In contemplating the harrowing events at Ethel Beach, it becomes apparent that our relationship with the ocean is a delicate dance, one that extends beyond the confines of any specific narrative. The tragedy of lives lost to the enigmatic depths calls for a broader conversation about how we coexist with the formidable inhabitants of the seas. As we navigate the waves of fascination and danger, it is imperative to seek a harmonious balance that respects both the majesty and potential risks of the ocean. The call for awareness, education, and a nuanced understanding echoes beyond the confines of this specific story, urging us to reflect on our role in the vast and mysterious world that lies beneath the surface. In the wake of the tragic events at Ethel Beach, the profound complexities of our relationship with the ocean demand a deeper exploration. Beyond the confines of Kai Cowley's specific narrative, the haunting shadows cast by fatal shark encounters prompt us to reconsider our coexistence with the formidable inhabitants of the seas. The unsettling backdrop of recent events serves as a poignant reminder that the allure of coastal landscapes is accompanied by an inherent unpredictability. The idyllic facade of serene waters hides unseen dangers, and tragic incidents such as Kai's underscore the need for a broader conversation about how we navigate this intricate dance between human recreation and the untamed forces of the Southern Ocean. Extending the gaze beyond the specific tale of Ethel Beach, it is evident that the delicate balance between fascination and danger is a universal challenge. The story is not merely about one surfer's tragic encounter, but serves as a microcosm for the broader dynamics at play in our interaction with the ocean. It beckons us to delve into a nuanced exploration of our impact on marine ecosystems, the risks we undertake, and the responsibility we bear for the preservation of both human life and the diverse creatures inhabiting the depths. The broader context of South Australia's coastal waters, which host a variety of shark species deemed dangerous, compels us to confront the intricate tapestry of marine life. This in turn raises questions about the sustainability of the recreational activities, the measures in place to ensure safety, and the delicate equilibrium that must be maintained to safeguard both human enthusiasts and the ocean's inhabitants. In navigating the waves of fascination and danger, a call to action emerges. It extends beyond specific incidents, urging us to foster awareness, implement effective educational initiatives, and develop strategies for coexistence. Whether through enhanced beach safety measures or responsible tourism practices, the imperative is to create an environment where the majesty of the ocean can be appreciated without compromising safety or jeopardizing the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. The tragedy at Ethel Beach is a catalyst for a broader dialogue, challenging us to reassess our relationship with the seas on a global scale. It calls for a commitment to understanding, respect, and preservation, a commitment that transcends individual narratives and resonates as a collective responsibility to ensure the coexistence of humanity and the magnificent yet unpredictable depths of the ocean. In the tranquil coastal haven of Willow Bay, in an undisclosed region, the year was 1987. The community was a reservoir of tales, often revolving around the deep, mysterious waters that kissed their shores daily. The ocean was a living entity, a place of wonder and peril, a source of livelihood and a keeper of secrets. At the heart of this narrative was 37-year-old surfer Benjamin "Ben" Harper. Ben was a seasoned surfer with a deep connection with the sea, a bond nurtured through years of riding the waves. His surfing partner and confidant was Amelia Dawson, a woman of spirit and prudence, who often tempered Ben's adventurous streak with words of caution. On this particular day, the sky was a canvas of azure, dotted with fluffy clouds drifting lazily across the sky. The sea beckoned with a hypnotic allure, drawing Ben and Amelia to its bosom with promises of thrilling rides on the cresting waves. As they prepared to surf, their hearts fluttered with excitement and apprehension, a testament to the unpredictable nature of the ocean. As Ben paddled deeper into the sea, Amelia stayed closer to the shore, her eyes constantly following Ben, her heart oscillating between fear and awe. The ocean was a mesmerizing sight, a vast expanse of rolling waves, each powerful and majestic force of nature. Suddenly, the tranquility was shattered as a shark fin broke the surface, moving steadily towards Ben. Panic ensued on the shore as people screamed, trying to alert Ben to the impending danger. Amelia felt her heart in her throat, her eyes wide with fear as she watched the scene unfold. In the face of danger, Ben's survival instincts kicked in. As the shark approached, Ben used his surfboard as a shield, putting it between himself and the shark, a barrier of fiberglass and foam against the might of the predator. The shark circled, coming in close, its snout bumping against the board in a terrifying examination of this strange adversary. With every pass, Ben fought to keep the board positioned between him and the shark, a desperate dance of survival in the deep blue stage of the ocean. It was a battle of wits and agility, a test of courage as Ben maneuvered to avoid the sharp, threatening jaws of the shark. Minutes felt like hours, but Ben's determination and quick thinking kept him one step ahead of the shark. In a heart-stopping moment, the shark lunged, its jaws wide open. Ben pushed the board forcefully into the shark's mouth, the creature biting down on it, giving Ben the precious seconds he needed to paddle furiously towards the shore. As Ben reached the safety of the shore, his body bore scratches and bruises, a testimony to the terrifying encounter. The beach was a scene of relief and awe as people gathered around Ben, their faces reflecting the miracle they had witnessed, a tale of bravery, survival, and the indomitable human spirit. In the aftermath of the harrowing encounter, the community of Willow Bay was abuzz with the tale of Ben Harper, the surfer who had faced one of the ocean's most feared predators and lived to tell the tale. The local media descended upon the small coastal haven, their cameras and microphones eager to capture the first-hand account of a man who had danced with death and emerged victorious. With Amelia steadfastly by his side, Ben narrated the terrifying ordeal. His body bore the marks of the encounter, a series of scratches and bruises that painted a vivid picture of his life and death struggle. Yet as he spoke, there was a deep reverence in his voice for the mighty creature of the deep, a respect for its power and role in the intricate web of marine life. As days turned into weeks, Ben embarked on a journey of healing, both physical and emotional. The wounds on his body healed, leaving behind scars that told a story of courage and survival. Yet the mental scars ran deeper, haunting his dreams with visions of sharp teeth and predatory eyes. As time passed, Ben felt a growing urge to reclaim his place among the waves' face and overcome his fears. He embarked on a rigorous training regimen, pushing his body to its limits, determined to regain his lost strength and agility. Months later, the day arrived when Ben felt ready to face the ocean again. With a heart pounding with fear and determination, Ben paddled into the sea, the familiar sensation of the waves rocking him gently as he ventured deeper. As he rode the waves, there was a moment where fear and joy intertwined. A moment of triumph as he successfully rode wave after wave, a testimony to his resilience and courage. The shark encounter had transformed him, forging a man of steel nerves and an unyielding spirit. As he returned to the shore, the community erupted in cheers, their faces glowing with pride and admiration for their local hero. Ben Harper had faced his demons and emerged victorious, a living testament to the indomitable human spirit. A beacon of courage and resilience in the face of adversity, a legend in the making in the heart of Willow Bay. In the vast, winding waterways of the Florida Everglades, a unique adventure awaited Tom Bennett, an enthusiastic kayaker with a passion for exploring the uncharted. The Everglades, known for their sprawling mangroves and diverse wildlife, were a kayaker's paradise. Having explored various water bodies across the United States, Tom was drawn to the Everglades for their serene beauty and the thrill of navigating through their complex network of channels. On a warm morning in July 2023, Tom set out with his kayak, equipped with essentials and his trusty waterproof camera. He planned to navigate through the less traveled paths of the mangroves, hoping to capture the raw beauty of this natural haven. The air was thick with chirping birds and rustling leaves, a symphony of life thriving in the wetlands. Tom's kayak glided smoothly over the calm, shallow waters, the green canopy of the mangroves casting dappled shadows on the surface. He was in awe of the peacefulness that enveloped him, a stark contrast to the hustle of city life he was used to. His camera clicked away, capturing herons in flight and the occasional alligator basking in the sun. As he ventured deeper into the mangroves, the channels became narrower, the canopy overhead more dense. The sunlight struggled to penetrate through the thick foliage, creating a play of light and shadow on the water. Tom was vigilant, aware that the shallow waters could hide unexpected dangers. Without warning, the water beside his kayak stirred. At first, Tom thought it was a fish or a small alligator, familiar sights in the Everglades. But then he saw a fin cutting through the water gracefully. A chill ran down his spine. It was a bull shark, notorious for its aggression and ability to thrive in salt and freshwater. Tom knew he had to remain calm. Bull sharks were known to be unpredictable, and he had limited options in the confined space of the narrow channel. He stopped paddling, hoping the shark would lose interest and move on. But the shark continued to circle his kayak, its dorsal fin slicing through the murky water. Tom's heart pounded as he slowly reached for his camera. If he was going to have a close encounter with one of nature's most formidable predators, he wanted to document it. He snapped a few photos, his hands trembling slightly. The shark seemed almost curious, its movements deliberate as it inspected the strange object in its territory. For several long minutes, Tom and the shark shared the channel. Tom remained still, avoiding sudden movements that might trigger an attack. He was acutely aware that the kayak offered little protection against the power of a bull shark. Just as suddenly as it had appeared, the shark lost interest and swam away, disappearing into the depths of the mangroves. Tom let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. He waited a few moments, ensuring the shark was gone, before he began to paddle again, his strokes cautious and measured. Tom's paddle cut through the water with newfound urgency. The encounter with the bull shark had left him rattled, but he was determined not to let fear overshadow his adventure. He navigated through the winding mangroves, the tranquility of the environment belying the adrenaline still coursing through his veins. As he moved into a broader channel, the sunlight broke through the canopy, casting a warm glow over the water. Tom's eyes scanned the surface, half expecting to see the shark's fin reappear. But all seemed calm, the only movement coming from pelicans diving for fish. Tom's mind replayed the earlier encounter. He knew bull sharks were one of the few shark species that could survive in fresh water, making the Everglades an ideal habitat for them. They were elusive, though, and sightings were rare. Tom felt awe and respect for the creature he had just encountered, a living embodiment of nature's adaptability and strength. Lost in his thoughts, Tom didn't notice the shadow that lurked beneath the water, following his kayak silently. It was the bull shark, its curiosity not yet satisfied. Without warning, the shark surged upwards, its powerful body slamming into the bottom of the kayak. Tom was thrown off balance, his paddle slipping from his hands and clattering against the kayak. Water splashed into the vessel as it rocked violently. The shark's dorsal fin emerged again, circling for another pass. Tom's heart raced. He knew he was in a precarious situation. A capsized kayak would leave him vulnerable in the shark's domain. He scrambled to stabilize the kayak, trying to retrieve his paddle. Encouraged by the commotion, the shark bumped the kayak again, this time with more force. Tom clung to the sides, his knuckles white. He realized he had to get out of the shark's territory. With a deep breath, Tom started to paddle with his hands, steering the kayak towards a nearby bank. The shark followed, its fin cutting through the water at alarming speed. Tom paddled harder, his arms burning with the effort. As he neared the bank, the shark made one final attempt, its jaws snapping close to the kayak's edge. Tom felt the vibration of its powerful bite, a reminder of how close he was to danger. With a few more desperate strokes, he reached the shallow waters near the bank, the bottom of the kayak scraping against the muddy floor. Tom didn't stop until he had dragged the kayak onto solid ground. He collapsed beside it, breathing heavily, his body trembling from the adrenaline and exertion. He was safe, but the reality of what had just happened was sinking in. He had survived a close encounter with one of nature's most efficient predators. As he sat there gathering his strength, Tom's eyes fell on his camera. The photos he had taken earlier would be a testament to his incredible experience. He felt a newfound respect for the natural world and its inhabitants, a reminder of the delicate balance between humans and wildlife. Tom eventually returned to civilization, his story becoming a topic of discussion among the local kayaking and conservation communities. He shared his experience not to incite fear, but to promote understanding and respect for the wildlife of the Everglades, especially its more formidable residents. The story of Tom's encounter in the Everglades spread, a tale of adventure, respect, and the unpredictability of nature. It served as a reminder to all who ventured into the wilderness to admire from a distance, to respect the habitat of these wild creatures, and always to be aware of the silent fins that may be lurking in the murky waters. In the murky waters off the coast of Grand Isle, Louisiana, the relentless dance between man and nature took a harrowing turn on a fateful Friday. A routine fishing expedition turned into a life-altering ordeal as a 64-year-old crew member, weathered by the challenges of the sea, plummeted into the abyss below. The unforgiving jaws of fate closed in with startling swiftness as the cold embrace of the ocean gave way to the visceral sting of a shark's bite. The U.S. Coast Guard, stalwart guardians of maritime safety, were thrust into a race against time to save the life of a seasoned seafarer, now left in critical condition. The incident, a chilling reminder of the dangerous coexistence between humanity and the untamed depths, unfurled a tale that goes beyond the immediate struggle for survival. It beckoned the audience to the heart of the maritime battleground, where every ripple in the water conceals the capricious forces that shape destinies and test the indomitable spirit of those who call the sea their own. In the calm embrace of the night, the fishing vessel Moonglow, a stalwart voyager in the vastness of the Gulf of Mexico, became the unwitting stage for a maritime ordeal that would etch its narrative into the annals of the sea. The seasoned crew member dedicatedly served aboard the Moonglow, navigating the unpredictable waters off Grand Isle, Louisiana. The serenity of the moonlit expanse shattered when routine maintenance tasks turned into a dangerous dance with destiny. As the vessel cruised about 35 miles southeast of Grand Isle, the crewman, grappling with the entangled nets around the propeller, found himself trapped in a life-altering confrontation. In a cruel twist of fate, he tumbled overboard, the cold embrace of the ocean awaiting him. A call to the Coast Guard sector New Orleans, punctuating the silence at 12:51 a.m., transmitted the urgency of the situation. A crew member was attacked by a shark, a severe leg injury painting a stark portrait of the struggle unfolding beneath the waves. The Moonglow, once a vessel of routine maritime tasks, now stood witness to a saga that transcended the ordinary, unraveling profound mysteries hidden beneath the surface of the sea. The crew member, dedicated to his craft, had inadvertently become a protagonist in a story that resonated with the unpredictable nature of the marine world. The unknown size and species of the shark added an air of ominous uncertainty, encapsulating the essence of the untamed deep. As Coast Guard officials responded to the distress call, the waters off Grand Isle transformed into a theater of survival. On this battleground, the indomitable human spirit clashed with the enigmatic denizens of the ocean. The Moonglow, a witness to the collision between man and nature, now carried the weight of a narrative that beckoned the audience into the heart of maritime uncertainty, where every ripple in the water concealed the capricious forces shaping destinies in the dark expanse below. In the crucible of crisis, where the moonlit expanse off Grand Isle held its breath, the crew members aboard the Moonglow emerged as unsung heroes, their swift and decisive actions transcending the chaos that unfolded beneath the stars. Confronted with the visceral aftermath of their crewmate's partially amputated leg following the harrowing shark attack, they became beacons of resilience and resourcefulness. The application of a tourniquet, a makeshift lifeline in the throes of adversity, became their urgent imperative, a desperate bid to staunch the tide of blood and maintain a fragile flicker of hope. The radio waves crackled with the urgency of their distress call, a plea for intervention reverberating across the expansive oceanic expanse. Coast Guard watchstanders, navigating the delicate balance between life and limb, sought counsel from the duty flight surgeon, an oracle in the critical art of medical decision-making. The unanimous recommendation for a medical evacuation became the lifeline for the imperiled crew member, a beacon of hope cutting through the darkness of uncertainty. In response, a Coast Guard air station, New Orleans helicopter descended upon the Moon Glow's turbulent stage, its rotor blades slicing through the night air as the crew raced against time. The dramatic rescue unfolded like a carefully choreographed ballet of urgency. The helicopter crew, like guardian angels in the tempest, orchestrated their roles with precision. A Coast Guard rescue swimmer, descending into the tumultuous waters, brought with him a realm of expertise. His skilled hands administered crucial first aid, navigating the delicate dance of saving a life in the shadow of danger. A new tourniquet, a symbol of tenacity and hope, was deftly applied. A lifeline cinched around the beleaguered limb, a testament to the indomitable human spirit. In a synchronized ascent, the crew hoisted the injured man from the clutches of the deep, cradling him in the secure embrace of the helicopter's cabin. The rhythmic hum of the rotor blades marked a heartbeat of hope as the Coast Guard helicopter soared into the night sky, carrying the survivor toward the threshold of medical intervention. The Moon Glow, bearing witness to a saga of resilience and camaraderie, sailed on through the darkened waters, the echoes of the extraordinary rescue reverberating in its wake. In the heart of this maritime battleground, where the unpredictable forces of nature clash with human grit, the indelible mark of the Moon Glow's crew was etched into the night, a testament to courage and determination in the face of the unknown. Embarking on a marine odyssey through the Gulf of Mexico unveils a diverse tapestry of at least 24 shark species, meticulously cataloged by the University of Florida. In the northern expanse of the Gulf, the elusive nurse sharks carve a niche, their docile presence contrasting with the dynamic ecosystem that thrives beneath the waves. There, it is not uncommon to encounter the distinctive silhouettes of various hammerhead sharks, adding an element of mystique to the sun-dappled waters. As the currents carry on, the salty embrace of these Gulf waters becomes a haven for a pantheon of shark species, including the formidable bull sharks, the majestic tiger sharks, and the swift blacktip sharks, each playing a crucial role in the intricate ballet of marine life. While the Gulf of Mexico occasionally hosts the iconic great white sharks, their sightings are a rarity, attributed to their preference for calmer waters. These marine titans, often vilified in popular culture, contribute to the delicate ecological equilibrium of the Gulf's submerged realm. Against this backdrop of marine diversity, the Global Shark Attack File, meticulously maintained by the Shark Research Institute, offers a glimpse into the seldom glimpsed confrontation between humans and these denizens of the deep. In the ongoing narrative of the Gulf, the file reveals that, aside from the recent Moon Glow crew member incident, only 2 other shark attacks have been documented this year. One such episode unfolded on August 28th at Galveston Island, Texas, where an 11-year-old boy became the victim of a small shark's bite, adding a poignant footnote to the enigmatic narrative beneath the azure surface. As the Gulf continues to harbor these awe-inspiring creatures, their presence beckons exploration and understanding, challenging preconceptions, and urging a reconsideration of the intricate relationship between humankind and the marine world. In the unfolding chronicle of shark-human encounters, another incident marked the annals on July 17th, when a 14-year-old boy faced a brush with a shark near Grayton Beach State Park in Florida. The encounter, categorized by the Walton County Sheriff's Office as a superficial bite, left the young swimmer with wounds that fortunately were not deemed life-threatening. As the news rippled through the community, the Sheriff's Office assumed a role of reassurance, emphasizing in a Facebook post that the intent was not to sow fear or induce panic. Instead, the post served as a reminder of the symbiotic relationship between humans and sharks in the waters they call home. The Sheriff's Office conveyed that they were making the public aware by stating that sharks lived in the water, and that was their home, so they were making the public aware so that they may use caution when swimming in the water where sharks lived. Underscoring the need for vigilance and coexistence in the fluid realm, where two worlds converge. In the tapestry of recent shark encounters, the incident stood as poignant reminders of the delicate coexistence between humans and these marine inhabitants. The juxtaposition of superficial bites and the resilience displayed by those involved paints a nuanced picture of the ongoing narrative beneath the azure waters. As authorities seek to inform and caution the public, the incidents prompt reflection on the shared space that humans and sharks inhabit in the vast expanse of the ocean. It is a reminder, urging communities to navigate these waters with both awe and vigilance, recognizing the inherent complexities of the dynamic relationship between humanity and the dangerous creatures of the sea. In the quaint coastal village of Marlin Bay, in an undisclosed region, the year was 2003. The locals often shared whispered tales of the shark-infested waters that bordered their home. The setting was a secluded beach, where the golden sands bore witness to many enchanting and terrifying stories. At the center of our tale was 37-year-old surfer Anthony "Tony" Wallace. Tony was no stranger to the sea, having spent most of his life riding the waves that crashed against the shores of Marlin Bay. His companion on many of these adventures was his childhood friend, Lisa Martinez. Lisa was a beacon of wisdom and caution, often advising Tony against venturing too far into the dangerous waters. On this fateful day, the sky wore a blanket of ominous clouds, starkly contrasting with the usually clear azure sky. Despite Lisa's reservations, Tony couldn't resist the call of the sea, a siren song pulling him towards the waves that seemed more ferocious, more alive than ever before. As Tony paddled deeper, Lisa watched from the shore, her heart caught in her throat. The sea was a turmoil of waves, each higher and more fierce than the last. With years of experience, Tony maneuvered skillfully, his body moving harmoniously with the ocean. Suddenly, a large fin sliced through the water, rushing towards Tony. Panic erupted on the shore as people pointed and shouted, trying to warn him. Lisa felt her heart freeze as she witnessed her friend approaching the oncoming danger. In a heart-stopping moment, the shark attacked, its jaws snapping dangerously close to Tony. With adrenaline fueling his movements, Tony managed to evade the shark, using his surfboard to create a barrier between him and the predator. It was a terrifying dance of death, a battle of wills in the churning waters. After what felt like an eternity, Tony seized a momentary lapse in the shark's attack to make a desperate dash towards the shore. His body was a canvas of cuts and bruises, a testimony to the fierce battle he had just endured. Breathing heavily and paddling with all his strength, Tony finally reached the shore where Lisa and a group of locals were ready to assist him. His leg bore a deep gash, a grim souvenir from the shark's razor-sharp teeth. As they tended to his wounds, the relief in the atmosphere was palpable. Tony had survived, bearing the harrowing encounter's physical and mental scars. His spirit remained unbroken, a testament to the human will to survive against all odds. In the days that followed, the small community of Marlin Bay rallied around Tony, their local hero who had faced the beast of the deep and lived to tell the tale. The local media caught wind of the story, and soon reporters were flocking to the village, eager to get the first-hand account of the man who had stared death in the face and emerged victorious. With Lisa by his side, Tony recounted the terrifying ordeal to the world. His leg was bandaged, the deep gash a painful reminder of the close encounter with the shark. Yet as he spoke, his voice had no bitterness or anger. Instead, there was a deep respect for the creature that had been his adversary, recognizing nature's raw power and beauty in its most primal form. As days turned into weeks, Tony embarked on a grueling recovery journey. The physical wounds healed gradually, but the mental scars ran deeper. Nightmares haunted his sleep, replaying the terrifying moments of the attack repeatedly. He began visiting the beach daily, sitting on the sands that had witnessed his near-fatal encounter. He watched the same waves that had been both his playground and battleground. It was a therapeutic process, a way to reconnect with the ocean that had been a part of his life for so long. One day, as the sun kissed the horizon, painting the sky with orange and pink hues, Tony decided he would not let fear dictate his life. With a newfound determination, he began training again, pushing his body to the limits to regain his lost strength and agility. Weeks turned into months, and the day came when Tony felt ready to face the ocean once more. The community gathered on the beach, their faces a mixture of admiration and concern as they watched Tony, surfboard in hand, walking towards the roaring waves. With Lisa holding her breath on the shore, Tony paddled into the sea, his heart pounding. The ocean greeted him like an old friend, the waves embracing him as he rode them with a grace that spoke of years of experience. As he returned to the shore, the beach erupted in cheers, a community united in celebration of courage, resilience, and the indomitable human spirit. Tony Wallace, the surfer who had cheated death, was back, carving his legacy in the waves of Marlin Bay, a living legend in a village of whispered tales and deep-sea secrets. In the heart of summer 2018, New Smyrna Beach in Florida, a hotspot for surfers and sun-seekers, set the stage for an unforgettable adventure for a group of high school friends. Known for its warm waters and vibrant beach culture, New Smyrna was also notorious for its shark sightings, which often thrilled the more daring visitors. The story revolves around 5 teenagers: Alex Johnson, a confident and natural leader; Sarah Miller, the group's free spirit; Ethan Wright, the cautious and thoughtful one; Mia Thompson, adventurous and fearless; and Kyle Anderson, the prankster of the group. They had planned a weekend of beach camping to celebrate their high school graduation, eager to make memories before heading off to college. Their campsite was a small clearing near the beach, hidden from the usual tourist spots. It was the perfect place for them to relax, share stories, and enjoy the starry nights. As the sun set on their first day, the beach transformed into a beautiful canvas of oranges and purples, and the friends gathered around the campfire. The night was warm, the sound of waves soothing, but relaxation soon turned to excitement for these friends. Kyle, ever the instigator, dared the group to go for a midnight swim. Despite Ethan's protests, reminding them of the beach's reputation for sharks, the excitement of the dare was too tempting. After some hesitation, they all agreed, laughing off Ethan's concerns. They ventured into the water, the moon casting a silvery glow. The thrill of the night swim was exhilarating. They splashed and shouted, their laughter echoing along the shoreline. But their joy was short-lived. Suddenly, Mia felt something brush against her leg. At first, she dismissed it as seaweed, but a second, more forceful nudge sent a wave of panic through her. She screamed, alerting the others. Within moments, the group was in a frenzy, scrambling towards the shore. From the beach, Ethan, who had stayed back, saw the commotion and ran towards the water, his heart pounding. As he reached the water's edge, he could make out a dark shape moving swiftly through the water, a shark drawn by the noise and splashing. Alex and Sarah reached safety first, closest to the shore, followed by Kyle, who was panting heavily. Mia, however, was farther out, struggling to keep up. A mere shadow in the moonlit water, the shark circled closer to her. Mia's strokes became frantic as she tried to escape the looming shadow beneath her. The others, now safely on the beach, shouted for her to hurry. Without a second thought, Ethan grabbed a nearby lifebuoy and plunged into the water, driven by fear and determination. The shark, a sleek and powerful predator, was closing in on Mia. Her energy was waning, her kicks slower as panic set in. As the shark neared, Ethan reached her, thrusting the lifebuoy towards her. She grabbed it with a desperate strength she didn't know she had. Ethan's presence in the water diverted the shark's attention. It circled them, its dark fin cutting through the water like a blade. Mia and Ethan, clinging to the lifebuoy, slowly moved back towards the shore, trying not to splash too much to avoid attracting the shark further. Alex, Sarah, and Kyle watched helplessly on the beach, their hearts in their throats. The shark made a sudden, swift move toward Ethan and Mia, its jaws open. In that heart-stopping moment, Ethan pushed Mia away, making himself the closer target. But just as quickly, the shark veered away, disappearing into the depths. The reason for its retreat was soon apparent. The disturbance had attracted the attention of a nearby patrol. A Coast Guard boat, lights flashing, was speeding towards them. Sensing the larger presence, the shark had decided to abandon its pursuit. Exhausted and shaken, Mia and Ethan finally returned to the beach. Their friends rushed to them. Relief and fear mingled in their tearful embraces. The Coast Guard arrived, provided first aid, and checked them for injuries. Miraculously, aside from some cuts and bruises, they were unharmed. The teenagers sat wrapped in blankets, sipping warm drinks provided by the Coast Guard. The officer in charge gave them a stern but relieved lecture on night swimming and the dangers of sharks, especially in a known hotspot like New Smyrna Beach. The incident became a pivotal moment for the group. The rest of the weekend was spent much more quietly, with reflections on the close call they had experienced. The reality of their mortality and the unpredictability of nature had sunk in. Their conversations drifted to plans, dreams, and the promise to always look out for one another, no matter where life took them. Years later, they would often recount the story of their graduation beach camping trip. It started as an adventurous getaway but became a life lesson they would never forget. They spoke of Ethan's bravery, the terror of the shark's shadow in the moonlight, and their newfound respect for the ocean's power. The story of their night at New Smyrna Beach reminded them of the fine line between adventure and recklessness, and the unbreakable bond that their shared experience had forged among them. In the picturesque coastal settlement of Coral Ridge, in an undisclosed corner of the world, the year was 1975. The community was a tight-knit group, sharing tales and adventures revolving around the deep blue sea that was both a playground and a mystery, a place of beauty and danger. At the heart of this narrative was 37-year-old surfer Greg Jensen. Greg was a seasoned surfer, his life rhythmically aligned with the sea's ebb and flow. His confidant and fellow surfer was his sister Laura Jensen, a woman of courage and caution, who often reminded Greg of the sea's unpredictable nature. On a day that promised golden sunshine and perfect waves, Greg and Laura met at their cherished spot on the beach, their spirits buoyed by the prospect of riding the magnificent waves that beckoned them. The sea was a mesmerizing entity, a vast canvas of undulating waves inviting them to become one with its rhythm. As they ventured into the sea, Laura enjoyed the smaller waves near the shore, while Greg, driven by a spirit of adventure, paddled further into the deep, where the waves promised a thrilling ride. But the idyllic day took a sudden turn when a shark fin emerged from the depths, moving ominously closer to Greg. On the shore, a fisherman noticed the danger and sounded a loud horn, alerting others to the impending danger. Laura's heart raced, her eyes filled with fear as she realized her brother's peril. Greg remained remarkably calm as the shark approached, his years of experience in the sea guiding his actions. Instead of panicking, he tried to retreat slowly, but the shark was faster, suddenly lunging and biting onto the edge of Greg's surfboard. It was a heart-stopping moment, a confrontation between man and beast in the heart of the sea. Greg fought to keep his balance as the shark tugged on the board, a tug of war between humans and nature. Greg kicked at the water desperately, creating a splash that momentarily distracted the shark, giving him a precious window to paddle furiously towards the shore. With a heart pounding in his chest, Greg seized the moment to paddle back to the shore, his body shaking from the adrenaline and fear. As he reached the safety of the shore, the community gathered, their faces a canvas of relief and awe, a tale of survival etched in every line of Greg's face. In the wake of the terrifying encounter, the small community of Coral Ridge was a whirlpool of emotions. With Greg Jensen at its epicenter, the local populace gathered in small groups, their conversations dominated by the harrowing tale of a surfer who had faced one of the ocean's most feared creatures and lived to tell the story. Still shaken but steady, Greg recounted the ordeal to friends, family, and strangers who approached him with curious eyes and concerned questions. His surfboard bore the evidence of the encounter, a jagged edge where the shark had left its mark, a silent testament to the danger he had faced. As the days progressed, Greg grappled with the trauma, the vivid memories of the shark's cold, predatory eyes haunting his dreams. The physical wounds were minor, a series of scratches and bruises that would heal with time. However, the psychological scars ran deeper, a constant reminder of the fine line between adventure and catastrophe. Laura encouraged him to talk about the experience, to share his fears and anxieties, a therapeutic process that gradually helped lessen the traumatic event's burden. The community rallied around him, their support manifesting in various ways, from warm meals delivered to his doorstep to heartfelt letters of encouragement. It was a collective healing, a community drawing closer in the face of adversity, their bond strengthened through shared concern and relief. As weeks turned into months, Greg found solace in different avenues. He took to painting, his canvases filled with swirling blues and greens, a therapeutic exploration of his deep connection with the sea, now viewed from a safe distance. Once a source of joy and adventure, the ocean became a muse for his art, a way to reconnect with the deep blue without venturing into its depths. Greg also became an advocate for shark conservation, channeling his experience into raising awareness about the misunderstood creatures of the deep. He collaborated with local organizations, sharing his story to promote a message of respect and understanding for the ocean and its inhabitants. As time passed, the terrifying encounter became a story of resilience and growth, a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome fear and trauma. Greg Jensen emerged not as a victim but as a survivor, a man who had faced the ocean's raw power and come out with a deeper understanding and respect for the mysterious world beneath the waves. A man transformed, carrying the tale of that fateful day in Coral Ridge with a spirit of strength and wisdom. In the tranquil summer of 2001, the coastal town of Emerald Bay, known for its pristine waters and abundant marine life, became the backdrop for a harrowing tale of survival. The narrative centers on the luxurious yacht Sea Odyssey, owned by the wealthy and enigmatic Richard Stanton. Richard had organized an exclusive yacht party to celebrate his latest business venture, inviting a select group of influential guests. Among the invitees was Emily Harris, a respected marine biologist renowned for her groundbreaking research on shark behavior. Emily's invitation was a deliberate choice by Richard, who was eager to discuss potential collaborations with her. The yacht drifted through the calm waters as evening descended, adorned with elegant decor and lively guests. The setting sun casts a golden glow, creating a picturesque scene. The air was alive with music, laughter, and the clinking of glasses. Emily felt out of place amidst the lavishness. Her thoughts were with the mysterious depths below them. Unbeknownst to the revelers, a quiet disaster was about to unfold. Michael Thompson, a young and enthusiastic entrepreneur, was leaning over the railing, captivated by the sea's allure. In a twist of fate, he lost his balance and fell overboard, plunging into the dark waters below. The yacht, filled with the sounds of festivity, took a moment to register the gravity of the situation. Panic ensued as the guests realized what had happened. Emily's heart raced with dread. She knew the dangers that lurked beneath the waves of Emerald Bay, especially after sunset. Understanding the severity of the incident, Richard immediately ordered the yacht to halt and initiated a rescue operation. However, amidst the chaos, their distress signal to the Coast Guard was lost, leaving them isolated in the vast ocean. With her expertise in marine life, Emily stepped forward to lead the rescue. Time was critical. Sharks are drawn to the thrashing and noise of a struggling swimmer. She coordinated with the crew to deploy a smaller boat for the rescue, readying herself to dive in and assist. A sense of dread enveloped them as they neared Michael's last known location. The faint silhouette of a shark circling nearby became visible, attracted by the commotion. Emily's heart sank further. The predator was dangerously close. In the rescue boat, armed with only a flashlight and extensive knowledge, Emily leaned over the edge, scanning the waters for Michael and the approaching shark. Every second was precious, and the looming threat of the shark attack intensified the urgency of their mission. With Emily at the helm, the rescue boat closed in on the spot where Michael had last been seen. The water, black under the night sky, offered little visibility. Emily's flashlight swept over the waves, searching. Then, one of the crew members shouted that they had spotted Michael struggling weakly a few meters away. As they drew nearer, the ominous shadow of the shark became more apparent, circling closer with each passing moment. Emily knew they had mere moments before it would strike. Her mind raced with the knowledge she had accumulated over years of studying these apex predators. She had to act fast. Emily dove into the water in a split-second decision, creating a distraction. She planned to draw the shark's attention away from Michael. It was a dangerous move, but it was their only chance. The shark, curious about this new arrival, veered towards Emily. Her heart pounded as she swam vigorously, leading the predator away from Michael. Meanwhile, the crew reached Michael, pulling his exhausted form into the boat. His leg bore deep gashes from the shark's initial attack, blood coloring the water around him. The crew's immediate concern was to stop the bleeding and stabilize him. They applied pressure to the wounds with makeshift bandages. trying to control the blood loss while radioing the yacht for medical assistance. Richard and the other guests had prepared the first aid kit on the yacht and readied themselves for Michael's return. The atmosphere was tense, a stark contrast to the earlier mirth. Richard and a few guests helped hoist Michael on board as the rescue boat approached. The yacht's crew, some with basic medical training, quickly administered first aid. They cleaned the wounds with antiseptic, applied more secure bandages, and administered pain relief. Meanwhile, Richard contacted the Coast Guard and dispatched a rescue helicopter. Michael, though in pain and shock, was conscious. He thanked his rescuers, particularly Emily, who had risked her life to save his. Emily, now back on the yacht, was visibly shaken but composed. Her quick thinking and bravery had averted a greater tragedy. As the helicopter arrived, the winch lowered to airlift Michael to the nearest hospital. The guests on the yacht watched in solemn silence as he was carried away, the seriousness of the situation weighing heavily on their minds. Michael's recovery became a story of resilience and courage in the following weeks. His injuries, though severe, were not life-threatening, and he made a steady recovery. The experience had left its mark, not just physically but also mentally. He often spoke of the incident, reflecting on the fragility of life and the unexpected heroes like Emily, who emerge in times of crisis. Emily, meanwhile, gained renewed respect among her peers and the public. Her actions that night were a testament to her expertise and bravery. The incident also highlighted the need for better safety measures in recreational water activities and a deeper understanding of the marine environment. The story of that fateful night on the Sea Odyssey became a reminder of the unpredictability of nature and the extraordinary courage of ordinary people. It was a tale that would be recounted for years in Emerald Bay, a testament to survival and the human spirit. Bathed in the beautiful glow of the sun setting off the shores of Atoll Island in the Bahamas, a narrative of intrigue and suspense unfolded, weaving the tale of Cameron Robbins, an 18-year-old Louisiana baseball star whose high school graduation celebration took a harrowing turn aboard the Blackbeard's Revenge Sunset cruise ship. The air pulsated with jubilation and youthful exuberance as Robbins, fueled by a dare, made a daring leap into the cool embrace of the ocean. The splash echoed against the ship's hull, marking the commencement of a story that would soon transcend the realms of festivity and adventure. Yet the scene took a chilling turn as the photographic evidence captured a shadowy figure beneath the surface, juxtaposed against the silhouette of the brave jumper. The whispers of speculation reverberated through the community, suggesting a twist in the narrative. Was Robbins, in his fearless leap, actually eluding a potential threat from the depths? The rumor of a lurking shark camouflaged within the sapphire waters added an eerie layer to the already mysterious incident. As the days passed, the search for the missing teen intensified, blending into a tapestry of suspense and unanswered questions. The decision to call off the search after 2 days cast a somber shadow over the community, leaving them grappling with an unresolved story. The waters surrounding Atoll Island, now holding the untold secrets of Cameron Robbins, became a canvas upon which speculation painted an enigmatic portrait. The emotions of the celebratory occasion were overshadowed by the uncertainty that clung to Robbins' disappearance. Was he a victim of a spontaneous dare gone awry, or did he knowingly plunge into the depths, navigating the maritime unknown to escape an unforeseen peril? The narrative unfolded like an intricately woven mystery, captivating the minds of those touched by the tale. Once a picturesque backdrop for joyous celebrations, Atoll Island now bore witness to a story that transcended the realms of tragedy and adventure. The incident on Cameron Robbins lingered, suspended in the community's collective consciousness, waiting for the currents of truth to reveal the submerged chapters of a story that refused to find its conclusion in the quiet waters off the Bahamas. The unanswered questions lingered like shadows, casting a haunting spell over the events that unfolded in that fateful twilight, leaving an indelible mark on the shores of Atoll Island. As the saga aboard the Blackbeard's Revenge unfolded in the waning light of the Bahamian sunset, the storyline became a gripping tableau of unforeseen danger. The pivotal moment, immortalized in chilling footage, captured Cameron Robbins, the 18-year-old Louisiana baseball star, taking a plunge into the vast depths, marking the culmination of his high school graduation celebration. celebration. The video, an accidental chronicle of tragedy, showcased Robbins swimming amidst the inky waters, his joyous rite of passage overshadowed by an unfolding crisis. The urgency of the situation manifested with the thrown life preserver, a buoyant beacon of hope tossed into the abyss, tantalizingly close to the desperate teenager. Yet Robbins, seemingly entranced by an unseen force below, defied the instinct for self-preservation and embarked on a determined swim away from the offered lifeline. The urgent calls of his classmates imploring him to grab the life preserver were overshadowed by his eerie fixation on a shadowy shape emerging from the depths, casting a somber mood over the entire scene. As the footage spread online, it transformed into a virtual amphitheater of speculation, with viewers worldwide dissecting every frame in search of elusive answers. The prevailing theory, fueled by the collective imaginations of online sleuths, suggested that Robbins had encountered a shark during his ill-fated leap. Claims of unmistakable shark sightings within the video fueled the wildfire of conjecture, prompting a digital sleuthing frenzy that sought to uncover the truth behind the ominous shadow lurking in the waters. Providing a problematic update the previous day, Royal Bahamas Defense Force, RBDF, Commodore Raymond King, confirmed the sinister reality of the locale where Robbins went overboard, describing it as really shark-infested. The convergence of video evidence, eyewitness accounts, and official acknowledgement painted a disquieting tableau that left the audience teetering on the precipice of an unsettling revelation. Once a backdrop for celebration, the waters off Athol Island now held the echoes of a wondrous plunge, each ripple resonating with the weight of unanswered questions and the looming specter of danger. As the haunting video circulated on social media platforms, the virtual landscape became a breeding ground for conjecture and chilling accounts. A singular voice cut through the digital noise, asserting with conviction that the video didn't lie. He was attacked by a shark and taken under. The ominous narrative gained momentum as others joined the discourse, their observations forming an eerie chorus of corroborative details. "You can see the shark to the left of the video," remarked one observer, while another, adamant in their assertion, claimed to have discerned the telltale fin in the fleeting frames of the short video. The online realm transformed into a virtual investigation room, dissecting the footage frame by frame, attempting to unravel the cryptic enigma shrouding Cameron Robbins' plunge into the abyss. The backdrop of this harrowing incident unfolded against the backdrop of the Bahamas, a region renowned for its picturesque landscapes, but harboring a darker reality beneath the pristine waters. The Bahamas, home to highly aggressive sharks, including the notorious tiger and bull sharks, set the stage for an incident that blurred the lines between daredevilry and the perils of its untamed marine ecosystem. Witnesses, their voices rising above the digital din, claimed that Robbins, in a moment of youthful bravado, succumbed to a dare, leaping overboard at the ominous hour of 11:30 p.m. from the Blackbeard's Revenge Sunset cruise ship. The incident now transcended the boundaries of a mere dare. It became an exploration of the fragile dance between human audacity and the predatory instincts that lurked beneath the surface of the seemingly tranquil Bahamian waters. In the days leading up to the mysterious plunge off the Blackbeard's Revenge, Cameron Robbins, a recent graduate of University High in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, reveled in the jubilation of academic accomplishment. His radiant smile adorned an Instagram photo, capturing the essence of a triumphant moment, dressed in the symbolic regalia of his graduation robe. The celebratory atmosphere extended beyond the confines of University High, as Robbins joined scores of other seniors from various Baton Rouge high schools, including Episcopal, Catholic, and St. Joseph's Academy, in an island soiree that would take a dangerous turn. Having only recently touched down on Bahamian soil, the students found themselves thrust into an adventure, a pirate-themed sunset boat excursion off Athol Island. As Robbins took the daring leap into the unknown, the festive ambiance of the pirate-themed cruise transformed into a sad search and rescue mission. The boat, once filled with laughter and camaraderie, now became a vessel fraught with anxiety and uncertainty. The crew members, accompanied by multiple agencies, including the vigilant presence of the U.S. Coast Guard, embarked on a desperate quest to locate the vanished athlete. The transition from revelry to rescue cast a haunting pall over the sun-soaked waters, leaving the fate of Cameron Robbins suspended in a narrative that unfolded with every passing moment, teetering between celebration and the shadows of the unknown. In the aftermath of the halted search, Commodore Raymond King provided a sobering update, highlighting the stark challenges facing Cameron Robbins' disappearance. Acknowledging the slim chances of survival, particularly without a life vest, and potentially impaired by intoxication, King added a disheartening layer by revealing the shark-infested nature of the area where Robbins took his fateful plunge. Despite the grim circumstances, King urged Robbins' family to maintain hope in the face of uncertainty. The joint efforts of the U.S. Coast Guard District 7 and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force covered a sprawling 325-square-mile search area, with the Coast Guard expressing condolences as the search concluded. The Robbins family, amidst profound grief, expressed gratitude for the extensive support from the Bahamas government, the U.S. Coast Guard, the United Cajun Navy, and Congressman Garrett Graves. Following the Bahamas government's official conclusion of the rescue mission, the Robbins family prepared to return to Baton Rouge, acknowledging the heartfelt support from various entities. University Lab School Director Kevin George reflected on Robbins's 13-year educational journey, emphasizing the need for unity in the grieving school community. Robbins's social media portrayed his love for baseball and his close-knit relationships. His baseball coach, Justin Morgan, provided a touching tribute, depicting Robbins as a cherished figure on and off the field. The U-High community, grappling with the profound impact of the tragedy, clung to hope while collectively navigating the uncharted waters of grief. Thoughts and prayers were extended to the Robbins family during this unimaginably difficult time. The waters off Athol Island, once a site of celebration, now bore witness to an unfolding tragedy that left the Robbins family and the U-High community grappling with profound grief. The haunting uncertainty surrounding Robbins' plunge into the shark-infested depths served as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between youthful exuberance and the unpredictable forces of nature. And echoes of this poignant chapter linger, urging reflection on the fragility of life and the resilience required to navigate uncharted waters. In the heart of the Indian Ocean, the island of Fuvahmulah in the Maldives beckoned with its crystal-clear waters and abundant marine life. It was a paradise for scuba divers, offering a window into an underwater world of vibrant coral reefs and exotic sea creatures. Among those drawn to this underwater haven was Clara Bennett, a young and enthusiastic scuba diver from Canada, eager to explore the depths of Fuvahmulah's renowned dive sites. Clara joined a diving tour led by experienced local guides who knew the waters like the back of their hands. The group consisted of divers of varying experiences, all united by a love for the ocean. For Clara, this trip was more than just a dive. It was a chance to escape the mundane and connect with nature in its most unadulterated form. As they set out on the boat that morning, the sun shone brightly, reflecting off the turquoise water. The air was filled with excitement and a hint of nervous anticipation. The dive site for the day was a famous spot known for its colorful coral gardens and the diverse sea life that inhabited them. Geared up and ready, Clara and the group descended into the water, a world of blue enveloping them. The sight that greeted them was breathtaking, a kaleidoscope of corals in every imaginable color, teeming with fish darting in and out. Clara felt a sense of awe and freedom as she floated weightlessly, taking in the beauty around her. As the group explored the reef, Clara became mesmerized by a school of vibrant parrotfish. Without realizing it, she drifted away from the group, her attention entirely captivated by the scene before her. When she looked up, the other divers were nowhere in sight. A surge of panic hit her. She was alone in the vast ocean. Clara tried to stay calm, reminding herself of the training she had received. She checked her air supply and buoyancy and ascended to a shallower depth to spot the group. But as she turned, she noticed a large, dark shape in the distance. Her heart skipped a beat as she recognized a shark's sleek, unmistakable form silently gliding through the deep water. The shark, a solitary predator, seemed aware of her presence. Clara knew she had to be cautious. Sudden movements could attract its attention. She slowly started to swim back towards where she had last seen her group, keeping an eye on the shark. The shark, however, seemed to be following her. It wasn't aggressive, but its silent stalking was unnerving. Clara's mind raced with thoughts of what to do. She remembered reading about the behavior of sharks and how they often acted out of curiosity rather than aggression. But the distance between her and the shark was closing. She could see its eyes, unblinking and focused. Every second felt like an eternity as Clara navigated through the water, her movements deliberate and controlled. Clara's heart pounded as the shark continued to close the distance between them. She could now see its sleek, powerful body in more detail, its skin a mosaic of scars and marks from its life in the deep. Clara's mind raced with thoughts of escape, but she knew panicking could only worsen things. Now, only a few meters away, the shark seemed to be studying her, its dark eyes giving nothing away. Clara tried to recall everything she had learned about shark behavior. She knew maintaining eye contact and a confident posture could sometimes deter a shark from attacking. But the theory was far different from the reality she was now facing. As the shark made a slow, deliberate circle around her, Clara stayed as still as possible, her eyes locked on the massive creature. She could feel her heart thumping against her ribcage, the sound of her breathing loud in her ears. The world around her seemed to fade away, leaving only her and the shark in this underwater dance. When Clara thought the shark might lose interest, it suddenly turned and swam directly towards her. Its mouth opened, revealing rows of sharp teeth. Clara's training kicked in. She pushed out with her fins and made herself as big as possible, trying to seem less like prey. The shark veered off at the last moment, its rough skin brushing against Clara's wetsuit. The contact sent a jolt of fear through her, but she held her ground. The shark circled back, each passing a test of Clara's resolve. In those tense moments, Clara felt a strange connection to the creature. It was a wild, powerful being, yet there was a sense of intelligence in its actions. She realized that the shark was not attacking but displaying a natural curiosity. Suddenly, the sound of bubbles caught Clara's attention. She glanced to her side and saw the flash of dive lights. Her group, led by the guides, came to her rescue. Relief washed over her as she saw the familiar figures approach. The shark, sensing the arrival of more divers, gave Clara one last look before gracefully descending into the depths, disappearing into the blue. Clara's legs felt weak with relief, and her group quickly surrounded her. The guides checked on her, ensuring she was unharmed. As they ascended to the surface, Clara was silent, processing the encounter she had just experienced. Back on the boat, the group was abuzz with excitement and relief. Clara shared her story, her voice steady but still tinged with disbelief. The guides praised her for handling the situation calmly, noting how rare it was to have such a close encounter with a shark. The rest of the trip was uneventful, but Clara couldn't shake the awe and respect she had gained for the shark. She had faced one of nature's most formidable predators and come away with a story she would never forget. Back home, Clara often recounted her encounter in the Maldives. The experience had changed her, giving her a deeper appreciation for the ocean and its inhabitants. She had come face to face with a creature many feared, and instead of terror, she found a profound respect for the balance of life in the ocean. The story of Clara's encounter became a reminder of the beauty and mystery of the underwater world, a tale of respect, courage, and the delicate coexistence of humans and nature in the vast blue wilderness. When she set foot on the Owaiki beach in Hawaii, Margaret felt transported to paradise. Calm, crystal-clear seas lapped long stretches of smooth golden sands. The leaves of the palm trees made complex patterns against the turquoise sky as they waved lazily. The pleasant aroma of tropical flowers permeated the air, while ukuleles playing in the distance contributed to the beautiful ambiance. This little piece of heaven was bathed in a magnificent glow, as the sun painted the horizon in shades of orange and pink. This was the evergreen beauty of Owaiki Beach. Margaret Brown was a spirited 21-year-old surfer who had always been drawn to the thrill of riding the waves. Surfing was more than just a pastime to her growing up on Hawaii's scenic coastline. It was a way of life. At Owaiki Beach, a destination renowned for its beautiful sea and famous waves, Margaret had spent endless hours perfecting her surfing skills. But she had no idea that a fatal encounter with a predator would put her bravery and tenacity to the ultimate test. Margaret and her younger brother Jake decided to hit the waves one bright morning. They both loved to surf, and Owaiki Beach served as their hangout. The turquoise seas were bathed in a warm glow from the sun, which was high in the sky. The weather was ideal for catching waves and making priceless memories. Together, Margaret and Jake paddled out, their boards flowing effortlessly over the mild surf. As the saline breeze fluffed her blonde hair, Margaret surveyed the horizon for the ideal wave. She had no idea her carefree day in the sun would soon take a terrifying turn. As Margaret paddled into position, she felt excitement coursing through her veins. The waves at Waikiki Beach were known for their power and beauty. She reveled in every ride. She could feel the rhythm of the ocean beneath her, a connection to something larger than herself. However, a sudden, unanticipated force disrupted Margaret's happy moment while riding a particularly alluring wave. A black-tip reef shark rushed out of the water with lightning speed, its razor-sharp jaws choking on her arm. Her body screamed in pain and she felt terror rise. Jake, who was nearby, watched in horror as his sister was dragged under the water. He struggled to reach her while screaming for assistance as adrenaline pumped through his body. Beachgoers heard his calls and immediately called for help from the lifeguards. Margaret struggled with the pain of the shark bite below the water's surface. Her best chance of surviving lay in maintaining her composure, she knew. She worked incredibly hard to free her hurt arm from the shark's hold. The water was stained with blood, yet she kicked frantically to rise to the surface. The lifeguards sped to the scene, their jet skis slicing through the surf as they arrived. They created a safety bubble around Jake and Margaret, defending them from the shark's circling motion. They lifted Margaret onto a jet ski with delicacy and precision, her hurt arm aching with pain. With a worried and relieved expression on his face, Jake gripped her closely. As Margaret was injured, a group of dedicated medical specialists worked non-stop to treat her at the hospital. Although she had suffered severe injuries from the shark attack and had a protracted road to recovery, her spirit had not been affected. Despite the difficulties, she was adamant that she would resume her beloved activity. Over the next month, Margaret spent much time in physical therapy and rehab. Her arm started to heal and she began to feel better. Her family, friends, and the surfing world stuck by her every step of the way. They knew how much Margaret loved the ocean and trusted her to keep going. 2 months after the meeting changed her life, Margaret stood on Waikiki Beach again with her surfboard under her arm. The exhilaration and anxiety were mixed in her heart, but she knew she had to resist letting her fear rule her. She was desperate to regain the water because it had always been her haven. Margaret paddled out again as the light warmly began to glow on the horizon. The waves greeted her like they always had, and she was incredibly grateful to have the chance to surf them once more. She was reminded of why she first fell in love with surfing by the salty breeze, the pulsing waves, and the vast horizon. Margaret took strength and tenacity to return to the waves, but succeeded. She understood that difficulties would always be part of life, but the ocean had shown her that she could face any difficulty head-on if she had grit and steadfast spirit. As she paddled the waves that had previously been the scene of her terrifying ordeal, she felt a tremendous sense of liberty and a newfound connection to the ocean that had always been her true home. Margaret's strength and self-assurance increased as the months went by. Her tenacity served as an example for others, a reminder of the human spirit's indomitable nature. She developed into a champion for shark conservation, utilizing her knowledge to spread the word about the value of coexisting peacefully with these magnificent animals. In addition to doing it for the excitement, Margaret continued chasing the waves to remember the ocean that had given her so much. Her adventure served as a monument to the strength of perseverance and the unbreakable relationship that exists between a surfer and the vast, unpredictably changing underwater world. It was a narrative of survival, bravery, and abiding love for the sea that would be passed down through the generations. Amidst the sprawling cityscape of Miami in 2010, the Miami River flowed, a stark contrast to the urban jungle surrounding it. With its brackish waters, the river was a unique ecosystem, home to freshwater and marine life. Here, a 45-year-old journalist, Maria Gonzalez, found her next big story. Maria had covered environmental issues for the Miami Daily for over 2 decades. She was intrigued when she heard rumors of a bull shark sighting in the Miami River. Bull sharks, known to tolerate fresh water, were still rare in the river. Equipped with a camera and a small boat, Maria set out to investigate. As she navigated the winding river, the city's skyscrapers towering above, she felt the thrill of the chase. Hours turned into days, and she had her first encounter just when she was about to give up. While passing under a bridge, she noticed a large shadow in the water. As it came closer, the unmistakable form of a bull shark emerged. Maria quickly grabbed her camera, capturing the majestic creature as it swam alongside her boat. But this was no ordinary bull shark. It bore distinct scars, telling tales of battles fought and won. Word of Maria's discovery spread like wildfire. The city was abuzz with excitement and fear. The Miami River, usually frequented by kayakers and small boats, saw a sudden drop in activity. Residents were both fascinated and terrified by the presence of the apex predator in their midst. The Miami Daily published Maria's photographs. Overnight, she became a local sensation. Tourists and residents flocked to the riverbanks, hoping to glimpse the elusive bull shark. While some viewed it with awe, others saw it as a potential threat, leading to heated debates across the city. As the days passed, Maria continued her river expeditions, documenting the bull shark's movements. She noticed it had a particular route, often lingering near a specific spot under the bridge. Curiosity piqued, Maria decided to investigate further, hoping to uncover the mystery behind the shark's unusual behavior. The spot under the bridge the bull shark frequented was secluded from the river's main flow. Maria often found herself drawn to it, trying to decipher the shark's interest. Armed with an underwater camera, she decided to dive into the waters, hoping to capture some close-up shots and understand the creature's behavior. As Maria descended into the murky depths, the world around her transformed. The muffled sounds of the city gave way to the silent rhythm of the river. She maneuvered her way to the spot, her camera lights revealing discarded fishing nets, debris, and a surprising number of smaller fish. Suddenly, a swift movement caught her eye. The bull shark, with its unmistakable silhouette, was approaching her, its eyes cold and calculating, fixed on Maria. She could see the scars she had noticed before, now even more pronounced up close. Heart racing, Maria tried to remain calm, recalling all the advice she had heard about staying still during a shark encounter. But the bull shark seemed different. It circled her, each pass coming closer than the last. Maria could feel the water currents change with its powerful movements. With a sinking feeling, she realized that the shark was not just curious, but displaying signs of aggression. Without warning, the shark lunged at Maria. Instinctively, she thrust her camera towards it, the flash momentarily disorienting the creature. Seizing the brief moment of respite, Maria began her ascent, desperately hoping to reach the surface before the shark could recover. Breaking through the water's surface, Maria gasped for air, her heart pounding loudly in her ears. The boat she had anchored nearby seemed miles away. She swam with all her might, the weight of her equipment slowing her down. Every second felt like an eternity, the fear of the shark's jaws closing in on her ever present. Just as she was within reach of her boat, she felt a sharp tug on her leg. The bull shark had caught up and was trying to pull her under. In a desperate bid, Maria kicked hard, freeing herself from its grip. With one final effort, she pulled herself onto the boat, collapsing from exhaustion and relief. The news of Maria's narrow escape spread throughout Miami. The debate about the bull shark's presence in the river intensified. While some argued for its removal, citing safety concerns, others believed it had every right to be there, a part of the river's natural ecosystem. The city eventually installed warning signs along the river and designated safe zones for recreational activities. The bull shark, now dubbed Scar by the locals, continued its existence in the Miami River, a testament to the delicate balance between man and nature. Maria's encounter with Scar changed her life. She penned a memoir detailing her experiences and journey from fear to understanding. The memoir was turned into a book and became a bestseller, inspiring many to view these magnificent creatures with respect and awe. The immense coral reef's seemingly limitless width sparkled in a golden glow as the sun dipped low over the ocean's surface. A brave American surfer, Alex Brad, had traveled to Australia for the ideal wave. He had traveled to this far-flung planet region, where the waves were famed for their beauty and strength and the sporadic appearance of sharks. The waves were spectacular on this day, and Alex seemed at ease. He could feel the exhilaration of the ocean pulsing through him with each stroke. Under him, the transparent water revealed a fascinating world of alive coral and aquatic life. Although he knew the dangers of surfing in these shark-infested seas, the barrier reef's attraction was too much to ignore. His heart leaped with excitement as he surfed the peak of that enormous wave. experiencing a joy that only surfers could fully grasp. He had no idea that his life was precariously close to a terrifying cliff. A massive shadow that swallowed the dazzling sunshine appeared beneath him in a split second. Before his frantic mind could respond, a giant white shark of enormous shape burst from the water, its opening mouth inches from his dangling legs. In that breathtaking instant, time seemed to go on forever. As the surfer met the elemental power of nature, his adrenaline-fueled elation turned to utter horror. His heart beat like a drum of survival in his chest. It was a profound meeting with the apex predator that served as a reminder that anything may happen in the great ocean, even the most exhilarating adventures. Alex kicked his board towards the beast out of instinct rather than thinking, narrowly avoiding its deadly fangs. The impact knocked him into the water, but he quickly climbed back onto his board. Although the predator had given him a tenuous reprieve, it continued to circle him, its icy black eyes fixed on him as possible food. Alex realized he had to move quickly. He looked around him with shaking hands. Long shadows were cast over the ocean as the sun crept closer to the horizon. He needed to take charge of his survival because he couldn't rely solely on rescue. His sole tool and lifeline, he realized as he turned to look at his surfboard. Gnashing his teeth, Alex took the leash off the surfboard and started paddling hard in the opposite direction of the ominous shark. Each stroke caused his heart to accelerate and his muscles to burn from the effort. The seconds turned into minutes, but the shark kept following him, never veering off. Exhaustion began to chop at Alex's determination as the afternoon sun turned into a moonlit sky. He realized that he couldn't keep paddling continuously. His resolve was strengthened by desperation, and he came up with a strategy. He made a temporary shelter as a barrier between himself and the approaching predator by fastening a leash cord to the board's nose. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a tiny waterproof flashlight with a shaking hand. Once he turned it on, a weak beam was cast into the deep ocean. The shark's silhouette was still oddly close, a terrifying reminder of the danger lurking below. Hour after hour went by during this tense standoff. The pain in Alex's body and his state of fatigue in his thoughts were both palpable. He had to use all his effort to maintain his composure as he battled terror and panic. He muttered encouraging words to himself, vowing not to become another victim of the ocean's relentless hold. Someone captured his signal of the beam light from the shore. The coastal rescuers rushed to his location as soon as they realized his dreadful situation. A group of skilled maritime professionals was rescuing him. They raced against the clock and the persistent predator because they knew they were running out of time. Back on the water, Alex could see that his flashlight's batteries were running low. As night fell, panic threatened to engulf him. He strained his ears to hear any sounds of the coming rescue squad as he listened closely. Just when hope seemed lost, he heard the distant hum of an engine. As the rescue boat came into view, its strong searchlights piercing through the night, a wave of relief washed over him. Alex's weak glow was visible in the distance, and the rescue team hurried toward it. The shark made one more frightening pass before slipping into the depths as it sensed impending danger. Alex was dragged aboard by the crew, his body quivering from tiredness and his face turning pale. He had made it through the horrific experience, and the hours-long pressure of fear gradually dissipated. He knew he owed his life to their prompt arrival, the comfort of the boat's cabin, and their soothing remarks. Alex found himself thinking about the terrifying ordeal as they returned to land. He witnessed the vast coral reef's unyielding violence and fantastic beauty. He had gazed into the abyss, confronted his worst fears, and come out on top. But the experience with the unrelenting great white shark had changed him irrevocably. In the end, Alex's trip to the vast coral reef taught him about the strength of the human spirit and the power of nature. The experience left him with a newfound respect for the ocean's mysteries and a deeper understanding of the delicate balance between man and nature in the vast, amazing world under the waves. He had surfed the most dangerous waters, survived the most terrifying encounter, and overcame the ordeal with these lessons. On a moonless night in the chilling autumn of 2022, Benjamin Hargrove, a 33-year-old thrill-seeker with an insatiable curiosity, embarked on a boat tour along the enigmatic coastline of Florida. The boat tour commenced in the serene town of Seaside, a place steeped in history and whispers of long-forgotten horrors. The town was charming, its cobbled streets exuding an eerie nostalgia that hinted at mysteries buried deep within its heart. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an ominous blood-red hue across the water, Benjamin and his fellow passengers embarked on their journey. The boat, christened Mystique, glided smoothly through the waves, its eerie silence accentuated by the backdrop of a starless sky. The air was thick with the scent of salt and brine, and the only sound that broke the silence was the gentle lapping of waves against the boat's wooden hull. Nervous whispers and fearful glances were exchanged among the passengers, suggesting that something was amiss. Even the usually charismatic tour guide, Sarah, had lost her composure. It was as if an unspoken terror had seized their souls. The boat ventured further into the inky blackness, and an unexplained tension settled upon its passengers. The sun had completely vanished, and the sea seemed to absorb all light, creating a pitch-black void. The stars were hidden behind thick, oppressive clouds, leaving the boat's occupants alone in a world of darkness. Each gentle creak of the boat's wooden frame echoed like a ghostly whisper in the silence. Sarah, her voice trembling, began to share stories of the region's history. Her tales were replete with shipwrecks, hidden treasures, and the haunting mysteries lurking beneath the ocean's depths. However, it was the legend of a monstrous predator, a creature that defied description, that sent shivers down their spines. This creature, dreaded but never named, was said to be a sinister presence that lurked in the very waters they were now navigating. It was an embodiment of primordial terror, a guardian of the deep, a force that brooked no intrusion into its realm. Sarah's narrative was chilling as she recounted encounters with this malevolent entity, revealing its relentless and ancient nature. The passengers, huddled in the chilling darkness, listened with a mix of fascination and dread as Sarah spoke of the sinister entity's malevolence. They were captivated and horrified in equal measure, and the legend of the enigmatic predator seemed to take on a life of its own in the shadowy confines of the boat. As Sarah spoke of the creature's ancient nature, the boat lurched suddenly, its wooden hull shuddering under an invisible force. Panic seized the passengers, and Sarah ordered the crew to investigate. The moment they realized the source of the disturbance, terror swept through the boat. A colossal shadow, darker than the night itself, emerged from the abyss. It was a grotesque silhouette, a stark contrast to the starless sky. The passengers' cries of alarm were drowned by the eerie sound of its arrival. The massive shark had revealed itself. In those frenzied moments, Benjamin found himself hurled into the inky abyss at the mercy of this relentless force of nature. The frigid water numbed his senses, and as he fought to regain his bearings, the monstrous shark circled him, its eerie presence sending shivers down his spine. Desperation gripped him as he tried to swim back to the boat, but the dark abyss hindered his movements. The shark closed in, its menacing presence amplified by the chilling water that surrounded them. With a sudden, ferocious thrust, it clamped its jaws onto Benjamin's leg. Agony coursed through Benjamin's body. The water was like ice against his skin, and the salt stung his wounds. On the boat, the crew members, together with Sarah, had been anxiously watching Benjamin's struggle. When they saw the shark make its move, there was no time to waste. They swiftly grabbed a long pole with a hook attached and rushed to the side of the boat. Sarah and the crew acted as a united front, using the pole to jab at the shark, attempting to divert its attention away from Benjamin. The shark, perhaps startled by the aggressive response, released its grip on Benjamin's leg and turned its focus towards the crew, who continued to poke and prod at the massive predator. This daring intervention created the window of opportunity Benjamin needed. He fought through the pain and kicked his way back toward the boat. The crew worked together to pull him on board, their hearts pounding with adrenaline and relief. Benjamin's leg was injured, but he was alive. As the boat sped away from the shark-infested waters, the crew tended to Benjamin's wound, doing their best to provide first aid. The bond between them had deepened through the harrowing experience, and they all knew they had played a crucial role in saving Benjamin from the jaws of a fearsome predator. Upon their return to Seaside, an ambulance was waiting, its paramedics ready to take over Benjamin's care. They rushed him to a nearby hospital, where a team of medical professionals immediately attended to his injuries. The shark bite on his leg was severe and he required surgery to repair the damage. The surgery was successful, and in the days that followed, Benjamin began his recovery. The support and concern of his family played a significant role in his healing process. Benjamin had survived a life-threatening encounter, and the incident left a lasting impact on him, not just physically, but emotionally as well. As Benjamin continued his recovery, he took up the cause of marine conservation and shark protection, using his ordeal to raise awareness about the fragile balance of life in the ocean. Life revolved around the sea in the quaint fishing village of Coral Cove, located on the eastern coast of Australia in 2005. The village had a rich maritime heritage, with generations of families living from the ocean's bounties. Among the locals was Eleanor Ellie Grant, a 45-year-old marine biologist dedicated to studying the region's diverse marine life. Ellie had recently been tracking the migratory patterns of bull sharks, intrigued by their sudden appearance near Coral Cove. While bull sharks were known to frequent fresh waters, it was unusual for them to be so close to the village's shores. One morning, as Ellie was conducting her research from her boat, she noticed a group of children playing near the water's edge. The laughter and splashing were suddenly interrupted by a chilling scream. Ellie saw a large fin cutting through the water, heading straight for the children. Without a second thought, she dove into the water, swimming with all her might. Reaching the children, Ellie quickly assessed the situation. The bull shark, likely drawn by the commotion, was now circling them. Using her knowledge of shark behavior, Ellie instructed the children to form a tight group and remain as still as possible. She positioned herself between the shark and the children, making herself appear larger by spreading her arms and legs. The curious and possibly hungry bull shark made a few passes, coming dangerously close. Ellie knew she had to act fast. Remembering an old trick she had learned during her research, she began to mimic the distress signals of a wounded fish, diverting the shark's attention away from the children. Drawn to Ellie's movements, the shark began to circle her instead. With each pass, Ellie could see its eyes, assessing and calculating. She knew she was in a dangerous game of cat and mouse. Using her knowledge and instincts, she continued to distract the shark, allowing the children to make their way back to the shore slowly. As the last child reached safety, Ellie felt a sudden adrenaline rush. The bull shark, sensing a change, became more aggressive. It lunged at her, its jaws open wide. In a split-second decision, Ellie used her research equipment, a sturdy metal rod, to push the shark away. The sudden resistance startled the creature, giving Ellie the precious seconds she needed to escape. Gasping for breath, she reached the shore where a crowd had gathered. The children, shaken but unharmed, clung to their parents, their eyes wide with fear and gratitude. Ellie's brave intervention had saved them from a potential tragedy. The village was abuzz with the day's events as the sun set. The close encounter with the bull shark was a stark reminder of the unpredictability of nature. Ellie, hailed as a hero, knew that her work was far from over. The presence of the bull shark near Coral Cove was a mystery that needed solving, and she was determined to find answers. The encounter with the bull shark left Ellie with a mix of emotions. The adrenaline of the moment had faded, replaced by a profound introspection. The vastness of the ocean and its mysteries seemed more palpable than ever. The experience, rather than deterring her, drew her closer to the sea. She began spending more time on the beach, often just sitting on the sands watching the waves crash. The ocean, with its rhythmic ebb and flow, became her solace. Locals would often find her there, lost in thought, and many would join her, sharing their tales of the sea. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, an old man named George approached her. He had been a sailor in his younger days and had his share of tales about the mysteries of the deep. He spoke of encounters with various marine creatures, storms, calm seas, fear, and respect. His stories resonated with Ellie's recent experience. As days turned into weeks, the beach became a gathering spot in the evenings. People shared stories, not just of the sea, but of life, challenges, fears, and triumphs. Ellie's encounter with the bull shark had inadvertently become a communal experience, bringing the people of Coral Cove closer. One day, a local artist unveiled a sculpture on the beach, a beautiful rendition of a woman standing tall, facing a bull shark. It symbolized resilience, respect, and the age-old dance between humans and nature. Ellie was touched. She hadn't expected her experience to leave such an impact. Years passed, and while the memory of the bull shark encounter never faded, it took on a different meaning for Ellie. It wasn't about the danger or the fear, but understanding, respect, and coexistence. The ocean, with all its inhabitants, was a reminder of the delicate balance of life. On a warm summer day, while Ellie was on her usual spot on the beach, she noticed a shadow in the water. The familiar fin of a bull shark appeared, moving gracefully through the waves. There was no fear, no panic, it's just a quiet acknowledgement. The shark lingered for a moment, then turned and swam away, leaving Ellie with peace and connection. Mia Martin traveled from California to South Africa's untamed coastline to compete in one of the most famous surf competitions in the world. The occasion occurred in Seyfour Bay, notorious for its long, beautiful waves, and in the middle of the shark region. As a professional surfer, Mia was well aware of the dangers associated with her sport, but she had never experienced anything comparable to what was about to happen. It was now time for the final round, and Mia was competing against some of the most well-known surfers in the world. The low-lying sun gave the vast azure ocean a golden color. Cameras were set to record the exciting action. Attendees lined the shore. The stress was evident because it was the peak of her professional life. As Mia paddled into position, anticipating the ideal wave, her heart raced. The waves in Seyfour Bay are renowned for their clean, strong breaks, and today was no exception. Mia skillfully rode the strong swell with grace and accuracy as a set wave came in. Her movements through the waves were measured and graceful, and the cheers from the audience resounded in her ears. The untamed energy of the water unexpectedly manifested itself among the heat of the competition. A massive, great white shark sprang from the ocean with a thunderous boom, briefly taking everyone's breath away. Its enormous bulk rose majestically against the backdrop of the setting sun, a sight both awe-inspiring and scary. The audience watched in astonishment as the monster submerged into the depths with a loud splash. After the awe-inspiring encounter, a hushed silence settled over the competition. The great white shark's power and primal beauty momentarily eclipsed the rivalry. Adrenaline-pumped surfers and spectators alike couldn't help but marvel at the untamed majesty of the ocean, a reminder that nature's mysteries were boundless and humbling. The other surfers quickly paddled for land as panic rippled through the ocean. Even though Mia moved her board toward safety, it was too late. With its dark eyes fixed on her with a terrifying intensity, the great white had locked onto her. She was alone on her board with the dangerous creature circling her in a couple of seconds. Mia felt her heart tighten with fear, but knew that rash action would only worsen things. Her thoughts racing, she attempted to remember all she had ever learned about encounters with sharks. She had heard that keeping your cool under pressure was essential, and that jerky movements could set off an attack. She was unable to succumb to her terror. The great white shark kept making slow, methodical circles around her as its dorsal fin sliced through the water's surface like a dagger. The world watched and waited to see how this dreadful encounter would unfold. On the shore, a frantic scramble was in progress. Event planners issued a warning advising attendees to leave the area and seek safety. A media frenzy was developing due to the breaking news, which had already spread like wildfire. Helicopters were buzzing overhead to record the action as it developed. As their boats raced through the water, experts and shark trackers sped to the site. They had one objective: protecting Mia and guarding the great white from damage. They were aware that it was a very crucial moment. They showed dedication to the surfer and the shark by maintaining a precarious balance. Mia returned to the water and tried to keep as motionless as she could, her heart racing. A little tug on her leg reminded her she was not alone in this aquatic environment. The initial confusion caused a slight injury dripping with blood, drawing the shark's attention. Mia's senses sharpened, and her attention sharpened. She was instructed on making her motions as unthreatening as possible by the specialists and trackers, whose voices were soothing and comforting. Even though the situation was uncomfortable, Mia had some hope thanks to everyone's combined experience. Mia's muscles ached, and her mind raced with fear and tenacity as each minute passed. Despite its intimidating presence, The great white shark appeared to lose interest as its circles grew broader and disappeared beneath the water. The tension in the water started to loosen, and a sigh of relief could be heard from everyone. Mia's shaky legs gave way as she walked onto firm ground and was securely led to shore. A rush of medical personnel and reporters greeted her, anxious to hear her terrifying story. She had some minor wounds, but they were a little price to pay for her life. Mia's tale captured the world's attention after that. It was evidence of the ocean's irrationality and the human spirit's tenacity. The majestic and terrifying great white shark had returned to its domain, reminding us that predators and prey must cohabit in the aquatic environment. Mia couldn't help but think back on the incredible events that had taken place as she was treated for her injuries and got medical attention. She had overcome her worst anxieties and come out the other side with a fresh understanding of how delicately the relationship between people and the untamed elements of the ocean. It is a narrative of survival, bravery, and the unbreakable relationship between humans and the underwater world. In 1998, in the coastal town of Oceanville, situated on the eastern shore of the United States, a spirited young woman from Portugal named Sarah Mendes was on holiday. At 24, Sarah had already made her mark as a talented engineer in Lisbon. Seeking respite from her demanding job, she was drawn to the allure of the American coast and the beckoning waves of the Atlantic. Oceanville, with its golden sandy beaches and the vast expanse of the Atlantic, was a far cry from the bustling streets of Lisbon. The waves crashing against the shore whispered promises of adventure and escape to Sarah, igniting a spark within her. Sarah's enthusiasm for the ocean was infectious. Tall and lean, with sun-kissed hair and a spirit hungry for exploration. Accompanying her were her closest friends, Martin, the avid surfer with a perpetual sun-kissed tan and a heart as vast as the ocean; Inez, the fearless free spirit whose laughter could brighten even the gloomiest days; and Miguel, the tech-savvy traveler always armed with his camera, capturing moments that danced in the depths. They were more than friends. They were kindred spirits united by their love for the sea and desire to experience the world. The incident that would forever mark their lives occurred during the summer of 1998. It was a typical July day, the sun blazing in a cloudless sky, and the beach alive with laughter and the promise of adventure. Families and friends flocked to the shoreline seeking refuge from the summer heat in the calm, inviting waters of the Atlantic. Excited for another underwater expedition, Sarah and her crew gathered at the dock. The boat bobbed gently, an eager steed ready to carry them to their aquatic playground. Hearts filled with the anticipation of discovery, they boarded, ready to dive into the depths and explore the secrets hidden below. Unbeknownst to them, fate had woven a different narrative for that day. The seemingly calm and serene sea held within its depths an ancient force, the ocean's apex predator, a creature of awe and fear, the great white shark. In those blissful moments before tragedy unfurled, the stage was set, and the characters, unaware of the peril that awaited them, embarked on their ill-fated voyage into the ocean's domain. The boat anchored, and the friends, their excitement barely contained, geared up for the dive. Sarah adjusted her mask, feeling a surge of adrenaline as she glanced at the vast expanse of the Atlantic before her. Martin gave a thumbs up, signaling they were ready to plunge into the azure depths. As they descended, the underwater world unfolded in all its vibrant glory. The play of light through the water, the darting fish, and the gentle sway of the kelp fascinated them. They marveled at the intricate dance of marine life, their minds momentarily freed from the stresses of daily life. But fate had a different plan. Suddenly a shadow loomed, darkening the ocean floor. A hulking figure emerged from the depths, the great white shark, a formidable predator. Panic coursed through the group as the enormity of the situation dawned upon them. In a heart-stopping moment, the shark lunged, its jagged teeth finding purchase in Sarah's leg. The water turned crimson as her friends shouted in terror, grappling with the reality of the attack. Inez, ever brave, tried to fend off the predator, landing desperate blows to rescue her friend. Miguel swiftly used his camera to create distractions, hoping the shark would be deterred by the flashes. Meanwhile, Martin fought to keep Sarah afloat, staunching the bleeding as best as he could. Sarah, though in agonizing pain, displayed remarkable courage, her determination to survive unwavering. Minutes felt like hours as they grappled with the perilous situation. The shark circled, relentless in its pursuit. In a daring move, Miguel hit the shark on its snout with the camera, startling it momentarily. Seizing this opportunity, they made a break for the surface, their kicks powerful and synchronized. Gasping for air, they breached the surface, their faces a mask of horror and relief. The battle with the ocean's apex predator had left them scarred, physically and emotionally. Sarah, her pain evident but her spirit unbroken, was rushed back to the shore where the gravity of her injuries became brutally clear. The attack had taken its toll on Sarah. Her injuries were grave, and despite the valiant efforts to save her, she succumbed to the trauma. The incident would forever haunt her friends. Their lives changed in an instant by the cruel hand of fate. As the boat raced back to the shore, its engine roaring like a beacon of hope, Martin, Inez, and Miguel struggled to stabilize Sarah, whose life hung in the balance. Blood stained the deck, stark evidence of the brutality of the attack. The wail of sirens pierced the air as the ambulance sped through the streets of Oceanville, racing towards Mercy General Hospital, where Sarah's fate would be decided. The hospital, a place of healing and hope, transformed into a battlefield where skilled medical professionals waged a relentless war to save Sarah's life. The urgency in the air was palpable as they rushed her into the operating room. The gravity of her injuries became painfully clear as they assessed the extent of the damage. Her leg bore deep, jagged wounds, and her arm was a mangled, barely recognizable limb. In the dimly lit operating room, the medical team worked with unwavering focus, their hands moving deftly as they fought to stem the bleeding and stabilize her condition. The surgery was a grueling affair, lasting hours, as they made the heart-wrenching decision to amputate her arm, a painful sacrifice to ensure her survival. Sarah's friends, Martin, Inez, and Miguel, stood vigil outside the operating room, their faces etched with worry and fear. The minutes dragged on, each one feeling like an eternity, until finally, a weary but resolute surgeon emerged to deliver the news. Sarah had made it through the surgery, but the road ahead would be long and fraught with challenges. The news of Sarah losing her arm was a devastating blow to her friends and family. Martin, Inez, and Miguel struggled to come to terms with the cruel reality of the situation, grappling with feelings of guilt and helplessness. Sarah's family, who had flown across the ocean from Portugal, stood by her side, their hearts heavy with dread. The sight of their daughter and sister, now forever changed, brought tears to their eyes. Yet amidst the grief they clung to hope, praying for Sarah's strength to carry her through the arduous journey of recovery. In the days that followed, Sarah embarked on a grueling path of rehabilitation. The physical pain was excruciating, but her determination was unwavering. Her hospital room became a hub of activity, filled with therapists and specialists working tirelessly to help her regain her strength and independence. But it wasn't just physical wounds that Sarah had to contend with. The emotional scars ran deep. Her friends, who had witnessed the horror of that fateful dive, grappled with survivor's guilt, questioning what they could have done differently. After months, Sarah Mendez emerged from the shadows, a symbol of unwavering determination and the power of the human spirit. The loss of her arm was a painful chapter, but it was not the end of her story. She chose to redefine her life, inspiring countless others with her courage, and proving that even in the face of the most harrowing trials, the human spirit could rise, undefeated. In the remote coastal town of Habas, Western Australia, the crystal-clear waters of the ocean beckoned adventurous souls. Among them was Emily Bennett, a 27-year-old marine enthusiast with a deep fascination for the world beneath the waves. Her life's passion led her to embark on a solo scuba diving expedition one sunny morning in the year 2021. The sun-kissed waters off the Western Australian coast were a mesmerizing canvas of blues and greens, an ever-changing tapestry of colors that shifted as the sun moved across the sky. Emily's heart pounded with anticipation as she descended into this aquatic wonderland. The sensation of cool water enveloping her, the gentle sway of her body with the currents, and the almost hypnotic play of sunlight filtering through the water created a sensory symphony that enthralled her. With every downward stroke, Emily felt the weight of her terrestrial existence lift, replaced by the exhilarating freedom of the ocean. She could hear her own breath as she inhaled the crisp, salty air and the soft gurgle of the bubbles escaping from her regulator. The dive site she'd chosen was a thriving ecosystem, vibrant with marine life. A kaleidoscope of corals painted the seascape, and schools of fish darted among the reefs, their scales shimmering like jewels. As Emily ventured further into the depths, she was keenly aware of the change in pressure, a subtle reminder of her temporary guest status in this liquid realm. The ocean seemed to whisper secrets to her, a language of underwater currents and hidden creatures. The sensation of floating weightlessly, of being enveloped in a world of liquid dreams, was pure ecstasy. Yet as minutes turned into hours and the ocean's embrace grew stronger, Emily became attuned to another presence beneath the surface. The initial thrill of discovery gradually gave way to a sense of unease. The blue abyss, which had seemed so inviting, now held secrets and shadows. The faint movement in the corner of her eye, a sudden coldness that gripped her heart, were all signs that something had entered her world. It was the silent predator, the tiger shark, its sleek body an embodiment of grace and power. As it moved closer, it revealed rows of serrated teeth that seemed designed for one purpose: to maintain its reign as the apex predator of the ocean. Its eyes, black as the abyss itself, locked onto Emily, an intruder in its domain. Panic surged through Emily, yet she knew that her only chance of survival was to stay calm. Slowly, she began her ascent towards the surface, her movements measured to avoid triggering an attack. The tension in the water was palpable, a palpitation of danger that reverberated through her body. The predator circled below, its presence casting a long, menacing shadow that seemed to stretch infinitely. The closer Emily came to the surface, the brighter the world above seemed. The sunlit realm was a promise of safety, a sanctuary from the predator's relentless pursuit. She was only a few strokes away from breaking free from the underwater world's grasp. Her heartbeat quickened, and the promise of survival beckoned with every stroke. But then, in a horrifying blur, the shark lunged, its immense body propelled by a primordial force. It struck with a fury that sent shockwaves through the water. Emily's world was reduced to a ferocious, gaping maw of razor-sharp teeth, clamping down on her oxygen tank. The metallic taste of panic filled her mouth as the tank hissed, the precious air escaping rapidly. Her vision blurred as the world turned into a chaos of bubbles, blood, and fear. Desperation overcame her, and with trembling hands she unclipped the damaged tank, letting it fall to the ocean floor. Her chest ached for the air she couldn't reach in time. With her heart pounding and the relentless predator inches away, she fought her way to the surface, gasping for the sweet relief of air. The world above greeted her with its brilliant sunlight, a stark contrast to the darkness she'd escaped. The surface was her lifeline, her salvation. But the relentless shark, undaunted, circled below, awaiting the moment to strike again. She clung to a piece of floating debris, her body battered, her spirit undaunted. Moments later, in a savage frenzy, the shark lunged once more, its powerful jaws closing around Emily's leg. The pain was searing, her screams muffled by the water. The relentless predator tore at her flesh, leaving a trail of crimson in the water. Her vision blurred with pain and fear, but with every ounce of her remaining strength, Emily fought back. Striking the shark with her dive knife, she unleashed a flurry of blows, driving the predator away. The shark retreated into the depths, vanishing into the blue, leaving Emily battered and bleeding. In the aftermath of the second attack, Emily's body was battered, her leg a mangled mess and her wetsuit stained with her own blood. Her vision was blurred, her body in shock, but her spirit was unbroken. Gasping for breath and struggling to stay afloat, she knew she had to make a desperate swim towards the distant shoreline. In the aftermath of the second shark attack, Emily was battered and bleeding. Fortunately, a fishing boat named the Guardian is nearby and rushed to her aid. The crew pulled her on board, provided first aid, and swiftly transported her to a nearby hospital. Emily's indomitable spirit and the quick response of the Guardian crew played a vital role in her survival. In the hospital, medical professionals worked tirelessly to treat her injuries, setting her on the path to recovery. In the end, Emily's mission to explore the ocean had indeed reached a conclusion, but not in the way she had ever imagined. She had ventured into the depths of suspense and terror, and her survival was a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dare to venture into the untamed world that lies beneath the surface of the sea. The encounter with the tiger shark had left her with a deep respect for the ocean and a newfound understanding of the delicate balance between humans and the untamed creatures that call the sea their home. An incident unfolded along the rugged coastline of Cape Cod, Massachusetts in 2003. The quaint town of Chatham, known for its picturesque beaches and maritime history, was the backdrop for this harrowing tale. The Cape had a rich maritime heritage with a long shark encounter history, making it a fitting setting for this suspenseful narrative. The town of Chatham exuded a timeless coastal environment with its weathered shingles and charming storefronts. The place coexisted with the past and present, weaving the echoes of maritime history into the fabric of daily life. The locals would speak of the beauties of the high seas, tales that seemed to come alive in the salt-laden breeze. Sandra Mitchell, a 48-year-old American woman, embarked on a much-needed summer vacation after a long hiatus from her teaching career. Eager to rejuvenate her urges, she ventured to the chilly waters of South Beach, disregarding the warning signs advising against swimming due to recent shark sightings. On that crispy morning, air brushed against Sandra's skin as she stood on the sandy shore of South Beach. Her eyes remained fixed on the vast expanse of the Atlantic. The rhythmic crash of waves filled her ears, beckoning her to the water's edge. She hadn't taken a vacation in years, but this trip to Cape Cod provided a well-deserved respite from the demands of her teaching career. Sandra waded into the chilly embrace of the ocean, and a sense of tranquility washed over her. The water invigorated her, acting as a tonic for her weary soul. She floated, feeling weightless and free, as the worries of the world slipped away with each gentle swell. Unbeknownst to Sandra, a force of nature stirred beneath the surface. A great white shark, a primal power and instinct creature, patrolled the depths with silent precision. It stood as a living relic, a testament to eons of evolution, honing its predatory prowess to perfection. The warning signs along the shore told a tale of recent shark sightings, reminding everyone of the untamed wilderness beyond the tranquil surface. But Sandra, lost in the sea's embrace, paid little heed to them. She couldn't resist the call of the ocean, a siren song. And then in an instant the world shifted. The water around Sandra churned and frothed as a dark shape hurtled toward her. The great white breached the surface with a thunderous crash, its jaws agape, embodying primordial fury. The ocean's roar swallowed Sandra's scream as the colossal predator closed in. Time stretched, echoing each heartbeat in her ears. In that harrowing moment, salvation arrived as a stranger. A figure materialized on the periphery of her vision. He was armed with a harpoon gun and moved with the calm precision of a seasoned hunter. He aimed and fired without hesitation, and the harpoon found its mark with lethal accuracy. The impact reverberated through the water, causing the shark to release its grip on Sandra. They pulled her to safety, the world a blur of pain and disorientation. The stranger, with a face masked by determination, guided her to the shore, his voice serving as a reassuring anchor amidst the maelstrom of her senses. And then, as swiftly as he appeared, he vanished, leaving behind an incident that would linger long after the adrenaline faded. The marine authorities had later captured the wounded great white and transported it to their research facility for examination. Scientists had conducted a battery of tests, probed the depths of its physiology and behavior, and sought to unlock the wonders of this apex predator. After a meticulous study, the researchers later deemed the creature fit for release back into the vast expanse of the Atlantic. It disappeared beneath the waves, leaving a wake of curiosity and wonder. The marine authorities who had captured the wounded great white in the aftermath marveled that natural engineering was a living testament to the complexity of life beneath the waves. The scientists had descended upon the creature, probing instruments in hand, as they sought to unravel what the massive animal held, and they even removed the bullet that had passed through it after it was shot. Days turned into weeks as they meticulously danced between observation and analysis. They studied the movements of the great white and dissected its physiology. And each discovery added a layer to the mosaic of understanding. And then, they made the decision. The creature weathered the ordeal, its indomitable urge testifying to the resilience of its kind. With reverence and trepidation, they returned the great white shark to the ocean, making it a living emissary of the depths. As it disappeared beneath the waves, they held their collective breath, silently bidding farewell to a creature that defied the boundaries of comprehension. As for Sandra, she endured an arduous but determined recovery. With the passing of summer, Sandra would return to her teaching career, carrying with her the scars of life's happenings and the resilience of the human urge. Sandra's road to recovery was marked by pain and determination. The wounds she held served as a reminder of the day she had stared into the abyss and emerged stronger, and testaments to the fragility of life and the tenacity of the human spirit. As the summer waned and the days grew shorter, she resumed her teaching career, carrying a newfound appreciation for the boundless encounters that lay just beyond the horizon. In the quiet moments when the echoes of that fateful day whispered in the recesses of her mind, Sandra found solace in the knowledge that she had stared into the abyss and had emerged stronger. Sandra's memory retained the great white shark, a phantom of the deep, as it etched itself into her mind, reminding her of the untamed beauty that danced at the edge of human understanding. Nestled along the coast of South Africa, the town of Wavecrest was a surfer's paradise. Its waves were legendary, drawing enthusiasts from all corners of the globe. Among them was Isabel "Izzy" Thornton, a 45-year-old surfer who had ridden waves on every continent. With silver streaks in her sun-bleached hair and a spirit that defied her age, Izzy was a well-known figure in Wavecrest. Izzy would be on her board every morning, rain or shine, dancing with the waves. Surfing was not just a sport for her, but a way of life. The ocean was her sanctuary, a place where she felt most alive. As Izzy paddled further from the shore one crisp morning, she felt a strange current beneath her. The water seemed to shift and a shadow passed below her board. Before she could react, a powerful force knocked her into the water. As she struggled to surface, she came face to face with a bull shark, its eyes cold and unyielding. Bull sharks were known to frequent these waters, but encounters with surfers were rare. Izzy knew she had to remain calm. Panicking would only make things worse. Using her board as a barrier between her and the shark, she slowly paddled back towards the shore while maintaining eye contact with the creature. The bull shark, perhaps curious or sensing Izzy's lack of fear, circled her a few times but did not attack. Every stroke she took towards the shore felt like an eternity. The beach, bustling with early morning surfers and joggers, seemed miles away. As she neared the shallows, the bull shark gave one last glance and swam off into the depths. Izzy, exhausted but unharmed, finally reached the shore. A crowd had gathered, having witnessed the encounter from the beach. They rushed to her aid, wrapping her in towels and offering comfort. The news of Izzy's face-off with the bull shark spread like wildfire. Reporters from local news agencies flocked to Wavecrest, eager to get her account of the incident. But for Izzy, it wasn't about the fame or the attention. It was a reminder of the ocean's unpredictability and the respect it demanded. That evening, as the sun set, casting a golden hue over Wavecrest, Izzy sat on her porch, reflecting on the day's events. With its vastness and mysteries, the ocean again showed her its power, but it also reinforced her love for surfing, the thrill of riding the waves, and her deep connection with the sea. The days following the encounter were introspective for Izzy. While she had always been aware of the ocean's unpredictability, coming face to face with one of its apex predators was a stark reminder of its raw power. The vast blue ocean had always been her sanctuary, where she felt most alive, and now it had shown her an awe-inspiring and humbling side. One evening, a group of young surfers approached her as she sat at her favorite spot overlooking the beach. They had heard about her encounter and were eager to learn from her experience. Izzy shared her wisdom, offering tips on how to stay safe while riding the waves. She spoke of understanding the ocean's moods, recognizing the signs of marine life, and the importance of always being prepared. The group sat around a bonfire as the sun set, casting a golden hue over the waters. They exchanged stories, laughed, and sang songs. The camaraderie was palpable, and Izzy felt a deep sense of belonging. The ocean had brought them all together, and in that moment, everything felt perfect. Weeks turned into months. and life in Wavecrest went on. The story of Izzy's encounter with the bull shark became a part of the town's lore. Tourists often asked about the brave surfer lady, and locals pointed them to her beachside home. Izzy continued to surf every day, her passion for the sport undiminished. The ocean, with all its unpredictability, remained her constant companion. She often thought of the bull shark, wondering where it was and what it was doing. She felt a strange kinship with the creature in her heart, a bond forged in mutual respect. Years later, as Izzy rode a particularly challenging wave, she felt a familiar presence in the water. Glancing down, she saw the unmistakable silhouette of a bull shark swimming alongside her. The shark, perhaps the same one from all those years ago, seemed to acknowledge her presence before disappearing into the depths. As Izzy recounted the experience to her friends on the shore, she realized that the ocean had given her another story. It is a story of respect, understanding, and the deep connection between humans and nature. It was a magnificent day at Hemeton Beach in South Carolina, where the white sands extended as far as the eye could see and were gently caressed by the Atlantic surf. The sky was a dazzling blue without a cloud in sight, and the sun cast a warm, inviting glow along the shoreline. Hamilton Beach was humming with the chatter and laughter of beachgoers on this idyllic day. Families had set up bright beach umbrellas and towels, and their kids played and made sandcastles close to the water. Along the water's edge, couples strolled hand in hand, their footprints leaving brief traces in the sand. The lingering aroma of sunscreen served as a reminder of the sun's inviting warmth. A 30-year-old surfer with sun-kissed hair and a year-round tan named Jacob Moore stood out in this gorgeous scenario. The beach was more than simply a place to go for Jacob. It was his calling. He believed that his life's work was to ride the waves, synchronize with the rhythm of the ocean, and find peace in the rising and falling of the tides. Like so many previous days, Jacob went to the beach today with only one intention: to surf the day away. He had honed his abilities for countless hours, becoming sensitive to the subtleties of the ocean. He saw every wave as a chance to connect with the vast blue expanse, and every ride as an opportunity. A feeling of excitement overcame him as he dived into the sea. The waves called out to you with hypnotic rhythms and whispered exploration promises. A trusted vehicle for the road ahead, Jacob's board glided alongside him. He felt a strong sense of belonging as he looked toward the horizon, where the turquoise waters and the limitless sky blended. Jacob paddled out through the crashing waves with a strong push, salt water spraying in his face. He stopped, sat on his board, and looked through the swells for the ideal wave. There was more to it than just the rush. There was a connection and a dance between the surfer and the sea. However, destiny had something else in store for Jacob on this seemingly wonderful day. A sharp pain suddenly jolted through his thigh as he caught a promising wave and started to ride it gracefully and expertly. He was in excruciating pain when he peered down and saw a black-nosed shark holding onto his limb. Jacob felt fearful but understood that the key was to remain composed. With a sudden outpouring of strength, he could wrench his leg out of the shark's hold, his blood mixing with the water. He experienced shock and fear, but his instincts as a surfer took over. He was aware that he needed to reach land as soon as possible. In the middle of this nightmare, all the beachgoers who had been having a good time suddenly started screaming and yelling for help as they ran to the water's edge. It was like a wave of panic went through Hilton Beach. Jacob's resolve was unshakable as he struggled through discomfort and shock and pushed himself toward the shore. The faraway shoreline became closer with each stroke as his heart raced. He knew the next 500 meters would be rugged, but his unwavering spirit enabled him to finish the distance. Jacob remained firm despite his bouncing breath and searing muscles. He was even more fierce in the struggle against the icy, unrelenting waters. He overcame nature's obstacles with each stroke, demonstrating that the human spirit could overcome difficulty one resolute stroke at a time. When Jacob finally managed to drag himself onto the sand, his bruised leg was bloody and torn. He was immediately assisted by a nearby paramedic who had been having a great time at the beach. The paramedic's skillful hands put a tourniquet on Jacob's leg to stop the bleeding and provide life-saving first aid. Jacob was placed on the stretcher as the ambulance arrived quickly and the siren blared. The crowd watched in astonishment and awe as Jacob was taken away. Even though his life was in danger, he had a chance to fight back thanks to his bravery and the paramedics' rapid response. Hempton Beach's audience experienced shock due to the news of the shark attack's news spreading like wildfire. The incident resulted in the closure of the beach to the public and the strict monitoring of the waters by coastal officials. Before reopening Hempton Beach to tourists, they ensured the area was secure. Jacob started his long and grueling road to recovery after being placed under the hospital's care. He had sustained severe wounds from the shark bite that required extended medical care and therapy. As he faced the challenges ahead, his friends and family came together to surround him and provide unshakable support. In due course, Hempton Beach once more welcomed surfers and beachgoers, but with a greater feeling of prudence and awe for the force of the ocean. Jacob's tale always served as a sobering reminder of the human spirit's perseverance and the sea's unpredictability. Jacob's courage and perseverance emerged through months of physical therapy and rehabilitation. Despite his terrifying experience with the black-nosed shark, he remained unafraid and refused to let it define him. His return to surfing was an act of bravery and proof of the unbreakable connection between a surfer and the vast, unpredictably undersea world under the ocean. His narrative would live on and serve as a reminder that despite hardship, the human spirit can triumph, and that the ocean can heal even the deepest wounds. The year was 2008, and the coastal town of Port Angeles, Oregon, was bathed in the golden light of a crisp and sunny morning. Mary Johns, a 38-year-old marine biologist, stood at the shore, her eyes fixed on the waves that kissed the pebbled beach. From a young age, she had felt a deep connection to the sea, a connection tinged with a haunting curiosity that led her to explore its depths in search of marine life. This morning, however, Mary's heart raced with an eerie anticipation. She had heard whispers of a hidden reef known only to a few locals, a place of great mystery that was said to house some of the ocean's most secretive and chilling inhabitants. With her full name echoing a sense of purpose, she had set out early to embark on a solo dive to uncover the unsettling secrets of this underwater world. Port Angeles had a dark and enigmatic maritime history, and its deep blue waters held mysteries that had long fascinated Mary. The setting for her adventure was a rugged and isolated stretch of coastline where nature had remained untamed. A remote cove surrounded by towering cliffs concealed the entrance to this aquatic realm. As Mary descended into the cold emerald waters, her sense of adventure and love for the ocean kept her spirits high. The underwater world she encountered was an ethereal paradise, with schools of colorful fish darting among swaying kelp forests. The eerie silence of the depths sent shivers down her spine, yet her unquenchable curiosity pushed her deeper into the abyss. Hours passed, and the sun began its descent towards the horizon. Mary's sense of time faded as she lost herself in the underwater beauty. Little did she know that her exploration would soon turn into a harrowing encounter, one that would test her character to the limits and chill her to the bone. As Mary gracefully glided along the vibrant reef, an unexpected chill raced down her spine when she noticed two colossal shadows lurking in the deep. Her heart skipped a beat as she comprehended the immense size of the creatures before her. It was none other than the great white shark, the ocean's undeniable apex predator. She knew that her life hung in the balance, and her survival instincts kicked in, coursing through her veins like icy dread. With every ounce of strength, Mary kicked her way to the surface, her heart pounding in her chest. The great white shark pursued relentlessly, its powerful form cutting through the water with terrifying grace. Mary's thoughts raced as she struggled to outswim the relentless predators, her every breath echoed by the menacing silence of the deep. Back on the boat, a group of local fishermen watched in shock as the epic chase unfolded before their eyes. They knew that time was of the essence, and they had to act swiftly to help Mary resurface to the safety of their vessel. Captain Dave, a seasoned fisherman with years of experience on these treacherous waters, barked quick orders to his crew to get the buoy ready and grab the life ring. The fishermen scrambled to obey, realizing they were Mary's only hope. Meanwhile, Mary continued to struggle, her energy waning as the relentless predators closed in. Just as it seemed she might be overtaken, she spotted the glimmering surface above. With her last reserves of strength, she pushed herself upward, breaking through the water's surface with a gasp of relief. The fishermen on the boat wasted no time. They threw the buoy into the water and tossed the life ring in Mary's direction. The circle of foam bobbed on the surface, and Mary, her limbs heavy and aching, reached out and clung to it for dear life. The great white sharks circled menacingly, snapping their jaws. But the fishermen's swift actions had bought her a precious moment. Captain Dave and his crew hauled Mary back to the safety of the boat, their hands trembling with the adrenaline of the rescue. Once on board, Mary collapsed, gasping for breath and shivering with a mixture of fear and relief. The fishermen encircled her, their expressions a mix of admiration and concern. As they sped away from the area, Mary couldn't help but reflect on the danger she had faced and the incredible rescue. The bond between her and the fishermen, forged in that intense moment, was a testament to the extraordinary courage and resourcefulness of those who call the ocean their home. Mary John's encounter with the great white sharks served as a haunting reminder of the unpredictable and awe-inspiring world that lay beneath the surface of the ocean, a world that could chill the soul and test the character of even the bravest explorer. In the remote coastal town of Blue Water Cove, located on the southern tip of Australia, an aura of untamed beauty embraced the jagged cliffs and expansive azure ocean. The city sat at the meeting point of both rugged wilderness and the deep, mysterious sea. Its pristine beaches and crystalline waters made it a haven for divers seeking to explore the wonders beneath the surface. Amidst the vibrant diving community, two divers stood out for their unparalleled skill and shared passion for the ocean's depths. First, there was Alex Matthews, a seasoned marine biologist whose curiosity for the sea was fueled by an insatiable desire to uncover its secrets. Alex had a deep respect for marine life and an adventurous spirit that led them to explore various corners of the globe. Then Emma Harris was an adventurous underwater photographer with a keen eye for capturing the ocean's beauty. Emma's fascination with the underwater world began in her childhood, inspired by stories of her grandfather, a legendary marine explorer. The legacy he left behind fueled her determination to showcase the ocean's splendor through her lens. With its rich marine biodiversity, Australia was the perfect playground for Alex and Emma's diving endeavors. Blue Water Cove was their favorite spot, where the convergence of warm and cold currents created a mesmerizing underwater ecosystem. The coral reefs, teeming with colorful marine life, provided a breathtaking spectacle that never failed to amaze them. One sunny morning in July 2005, with a gentle breeze kissing the ocean's surface, Alex and Emma geared up for a dive that would etch itself into the annals of their diving adventures. The town was excited as news spread about a rare gathering of marine creatures near a distant reef known as the Turquoise Abyss. This unique phenomenon drew divers far and wide, eager to witness nature's grandeur. As they made their way to the dive site, anticipation danced in their hearts. The turquoise waters stretched infinitely before them, hinting at the enchantment beneath them. The day held the promise of both adventure and discovery. With unruly curls and a perpetual sparkle of excitement in their eyes, Alex prepared to delve into the depths, equipped with various research tools. Radiant with a love for the ocean, Emma adjusted her camera settings, ready to capture the ocean's wonders in every frame. The boat anchored at the dive site, and with a synchronized splash, they entered the water. The ocean welcomed them into its embrace, a familiar and comforting sensation of weightlessness. The reef's vibrant colors dazzled beneath the surface, and a rich tapestry of marine life unfolded before their eyes. As Alex and Emma descended into the turquoise abyss, they felt a sense of unity with the ocean, and oneness that bound them to its mysteries. Little did they know that on this day the sea would present a trial to test their courage and bond with each other. As Alex and Emma descended deeper into the turquoise abyss, the underwater world revealed itself in all its breathtaking splendor. Colorful coral formations danced with the rhythm of the ocean currents, while schools of fish moved in unison like a living, shimmering tapestry. Their dive progressed smoothly, each immersed in their passion. Alex documenting marine life behavior, and Emma capturing the ocean's beauty through her lens. Time seemed to lose its meaning as they moved gracefully through the water. Suddenly, a low hum filled the water, sending ripples of unease through the usually calm ocean. The fish scattered, vanishing into crevices and shadows. Alex and Emma exchanged a puzzled look, sensing a shift in the underwater ambiance. Then, emerging from the depths, a shadowy figure materialized. A great white shark is a force of nature, sculpted by evolution for survival. Its cold, unyielding eyes fixated on them, a primal hunger burning within. Fear surged through their veins, but so did adrenaline-fueled determination. Instinctively, they moved closer together, their training and camaraderie serving as their shield against the looming danger. Emma, the camera still in hand, captured the predator's image with steady hands, fighting to control her breathing. The adrenaline surged, heightening her senses and sharpening her focus. Alex, the scientist in them, always maintained composure and a watchful eye on the shark, analyzing its behavior and seeking an opportunity to deter its advance. The encounter intensified as the shark circled, its powerful form gliding through the water with menacing grace. Emma snapped more shots, each click echoing through the tense undersea silence. With a sudden burst of speed, the shark closed in. In a split second, it lunged, aiming for Emma. Her heart raced as she maneuvered quickly, but the shark's sharp teeth found their mark, biting into her lower leg. Pain surged through her, but she fought against the panic, knowing that survival depended on their collective resilience. Alex acted swiftly, using the metal rod to strike the shark, forcing it to release its grip on Emma. The shark retreated momentarily, allowing them a critical moment to react. Blood mingled with the water, painting the scene with a terrifying urgency. Despite the pain, Emma remained resolute, her determination fueled by the adrenaline surging through her veins. Alex and Emma pushed their limits, and their movements synchronized as if choreographed by fate. The shark, formidable and relentless, showcased the primal essence of the ocean. The encounter seemed eternal, a timeless battle between humans and the untamed depths. But eventually, the shark's instincts led it elsewhere, with a new scent in the water diverting its attention. With bated breath and hearts pounding, Alex and Emma slowly ascended, leaving the shark in its wild domain. Emerging from the depths, their adrenaline still surging, Alex and Emma faced a changed reality. The encounter with the great white shark left an indelible physical and emotional mark. The danger had been confirmed, and the threat was negligible. The boat bobbed gently on the surface as they hoisted themselves aboard. Emma's lower body was injured, and her spirit was slightly shaken but far from broken. The pain was persistent and unforgiving, but so was her resilience. Alex, too, grappled with the aftermath of the encounter, with fear and adrenaline still coursing through their veins. The boat sped towards the shore. Medical help awaited them on land, a beacon of hope in adversity. In the hospital, as Emma underwent surgery and Alex received treatment for their injuries, they found solace in each other's presence. Days turned into weeks, and both underwent intensive rehabilitation. Emma's resilience amazed the medical staff. Her determination to overcome the physical and emotional trauma was awe-inspiring. Alex, too, pushed through the pain, their marine biologist instincts urging them to delve into the depths of their strength. Their families stood by them, offering unwavering support. Days of struggle turned into days of triumph as they made progress, step by painful step. The incident had irrevocably changed them, but also unveiled their true strength. As they left the hospital, scarred but stronger, they held hands, ready to face a new chapter. The ocean would always be a part of them, an unbreakable bond, and they were determined to share its complexities and wonders with the world. Their story spread far and wide, becoming an inspiration for many. Alex and Emma became advocates for marine conservation, their journey a beacon of hope for the ocean and the human spirit. In 2005, Millie was on Silver Moon Beach, California, USA, off the coast of Baja California, Mexico. At 35, Millie had become a seasoned marine biologist, earning a reputation for fearlessly pursuing knowledge about the ocean's most enigmatic creatures. The Maritime Authority detached her to study the ocean species and assess any potential dangers they faced. Silver Moon Beach, located on the coast of California, held a rich history of marine life, and Millie was endlessly fascinated by its depths. Navigating the waves in her specialized research speedboat, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and reverence for the world beneath. Millie embarked on a solo expedition, equipping her boat with state-of-the-art equipment to document the behavior and movements of the ocean's apex predators. The tranquil morning hinted at the mysteries beneath, and Millie was eager to uncover them. As the day wore on, the calm seas whispered calmness that only the ocean held. Millie meticulously observed, etching every detail into her logbook. The hours passed in a rhythmic cadence of the waves until a sudden shift in the air signaled an imminent change. The ocean's surface trembled without warning, sending ripples in every direction. Millie's heart raced as a primal instinct urged her to seek shelter. Then a colossal form emerged, a great white shark, slicing through the water with a graceful yet terrifying precision, its dorsal fin leading the way. Her breath caught in her throat as she watched the massive creature approaching, dominating the surroundings with its presence. The shark's immense power and primal majesty held her in a spellbound trance. In an instant it leaped, defied gravity as it breached the surface, and revealed rows of razor-sharp teeth glistening in the sunlight. Panic surged through Millie's veins, but her years of training kicked in. She fumbled for the radio and sent out a desperate call for assistance, her composed voice, though, betraying the urgency that coursed through her. In the midst of the chaos, Millie's voice remained remarkably composed as she declared Mayday. The urgency in her tone was palpable as she succinctly narrated the dire scenario unfolding around her. The treacherous predator, a massive great white shark, continued its menacing circle around her beleaguered research vessel, as if orchestrating a relentless assault against its prey. Each pass of the shark tested the vessel's structural integrity, causing it to rock dangerously, threatening to tip it into the unforgiving embrace of the ocean depths. With each impact, the vessel groaned under immense pressure and water began to seep in through compromised seals and fissures, adding to the urgency of the situation. In the distance, Millie's distress call reached the Maritime Authority's Vigilant Monitoring Station, where seasoned professionals manned their posts with unwavering dedication. The call triggered a frenzied symphony of activity as alarm lights blinked and sirens wailed. Swiftly and with practiced precision, the authority dispatched a highly trained response team, armed with both the expertise and equipment required to confront such a perilous situation. Their every move was marked by the knowledge that time was an unrelenting adversary, ticking away with each passing second. The fate of Millie and her vessel hung precariously in the balance, and the response team's determination to reach her swiftly was unwavering, for they understood that the line between peril and salvation was a thread, and they were racing against its inevitable unraveling. Millie clung to the last vestiges of hope as the minutes stretched into an eternity. The relentless predator continued its assault, driven forward by its primal instincts. Then the response team arrived, shining like a beacon of hope. With precision and expertise honed through years of training, they maneuvered their boat alongside Millie's, their eyes fixed on the massive adversary threatening her life. They quickly devised a plan and carefully chose a net for its strength and durability. The team worked in synchrony and cast the net with practiced precision. The great white shark was momentarily ensnared and thrashed against its constraints, showcasing the untamed force of nature with its raw power. The team temporarily subdued the shark and swiftly moved to secure Millie's safety. They pulled her aboard their vessel, and a mixture of relief and gratitude washed over her. She watched as the magnificent creature, still entangled, struggled against its captivity. Hours later, the team carefully released the great white shark into its natural habitat. It surged forward, embodying the untamed spirit of the ocean. Millie, who was now safe and on solid ground, watched with a mixture of reverence and awe. She had encountered the great white shark, which had been a dance with the sublime, reminding her of the beauty beneath the waves. In the days that followed, Millie reflected on the profound experience. Her respect for the ocean and its inhabitants deepened, testifying to the delicate balance between humans and the untamed world surrounding them. As Millie returned to her research, she carried with her a newfound appreciation for the wild. It reminded her that harmony was waiting to be understood, even in the face of nature's most formidable creatures. The great white shark, once the user's adversary, now symbolized the feral wonders that call the ocean home. The sea breeze carried a sense of serenity as Millie stood on the deck of the rescue vessel, her eyes fixed on the receding figure of the great white shark. It surged forward and disappeared into the vast expanse of its home. Millie thanked her rescuers, her voice tinged with genuine appreciation. They saved not only her, but that magnificent creature as well. Millie returned to her research with a newfound vigor in the following days. She focused her observations, making her notes more meticulous. She delved into the behaviors and habitats of various marine species, driven by a desire to unravel the ocean's wonders. She collected invaluable data in the ongoing efforts to conserve and protect these creatures. Weeks had turned into months, and Millie's reputation as a fearless marine biologist had grown. She published her findings in prestigious journals, gaining recognition from her peers in the scientific community. Yet amidst the accolades, she stayed grounded. The year was 1992, and the tranquil town of Azure Coast Beach, Florida, held a beauty all its own. It was a crisp, early morning as the sun began its gradual ascent, casting a soft, golden hue upon the pristine shoreline. The rhythmic symphony of waves crashing against the shore reverberated through the air. Jason Anderson, a 28-year-old man with a passion for the ocean, was gearing up for another day of surfing. His hazel eyes gleamed with excitement as he meticulously waxed his surfboard, the scent of the salty sea mingling with the fresh, clean scent of the surfboard wax. He slung his board under his arm and strolled towards the water's edge. The sand was cool beneath his bare feet, and he felt it shift and give way with each step, a sensation that connected him to the earth beneath. As he neared the water, the foamy edges of the waves kissed his toes. Azure Coast Beach was surrounded by a dense, untouched forest. It was an isolated oasis where legends whispered through the locals' conversations, and strange occurrences added an air of mystery. The water welcomed him with a gentle embrace as he waded into its depths. With every stroke, he felt a surge of adrenaline, a reminder of the unparalleled thrill that surfing offered. As he ventured further from the shore, the world beneath the water's surface suddenly stirred with an unusual disturbance. It was no ordinary wave that broke the surface. It was something massive, something that should never have ventured so close to the coast. A colossal tiger shark emerged, its sleek, dark body slicing through the water like a shadowy phantom. Its cold, black eyes seemed to pierce the depths. The tiger shark had been drawn too close to the shore and was clearly agitated. In its frenzied state, it darted erratically, its powerful tail creating whirlpools that churned the water. Jason desperately tried to steer his board away from the predatory creature, but fate seemed to conspire against him, and in a horrifying twist of events, the tiger shark's jaws clamped down on his board, snapping it into pieces, leaving Jason tumbling into the churning water. Jason struggled to resurface, the salt water stinging his injured leg. He could taste the salt on his lips, and the scent of the sea was more intense as he gasped for air. The adrenaline rush was overpowering, and his heart pounded in his chest as he fought his way back to the surface. Gasping for air, he managed to spot a fragment of his shattered board floating nearby, its smooth surface slick against his fingertips. Weak and terrified, he clung to it, the touch of the jagged edge cutting into his palm, a chilling reminder of the danger that lurked below. The massive tiger shark, still in a state of distress, circled back towards him, casting a looming shadow of impending doom. The water was tumultuous, with frothy waves that seemed to mock the serene beauty of the morning. Jason fought to stay afloat, clinging to the shattered remnants of his surfboard. The water, once inviting and clear, now felt like a dark and unpredictable abyss. As the minutes stretched into what felt like endless hours, Jason fought to maintain his composure. He realized that he couldn't simply wait for rescue. With an enormous effort, he began to paddle towards the distant shore, each stroke causing excruciating pain in his injured leg. The pain was intense, a sharp, searing sensation that traveled from his leg to every part of his body. But inexplicably, the great predator veered away, disappearing into the depths, leaving Jason battered and shaken but miraculously alive. The resounding swish of the shark's tail as it vanished beneath the waves echoed in his ears, a haunting sound he would never forget. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Jason reached the shore, his leg injured from a shark encounter. Nearby beachgoers, led by a retired paramedic named Carlos and a woman named Maria, applied first aid to his wound, staunching the bleeding and ensuring his comfort while they called an ambulance. Their swift actions and care eased Jason's ordeal, and he was rushed to the hospital for further treatment. Grateful for the quick response and assistance of the locals, Jason realized the difference their kindness had made during his moment of crisis. The experience left a deep scar on his soul, a memory that would haunt him for the rest of his days. As he lay there gazing out at the vast ocean, he knew that the whispers of the abyss held both beauty and terror, and he had touched upon both in a single unforgettable day. In the early 2000s, around 2003, Mark Wilson was a 37-year-old avid surfer from Ventura, sunny California. Surfing was his life's joy, and he'd been riding waves since his teenage years. With the sun blazing and the Pacific Ocean calling, Mark gathered his close-knit crew of surfing enthusiasts one summer day. There was Griff Wainwright, a lanky fellow always ready with a joke and up for an adventure. Tessa Langley, the vibrant soul of the group, whose laughter was infectious and spirit indomitable. Lastly, Royce Carmichael, the wise old surfer who'd been catching waves since the 80s. Together, they formed a tight-knit crew, ready to conquer any wave that dared challenge them. Their destination was the renowned Breakneck Bay, a spot known for its wild waves and, unfortunately, occasional shark sightings. It was a picturesque location, with the Pacific Highway hugging one side and rocky cliffs standing tall on the other. As they approached Breakneck Bay in Mark's weathered pickup truck, surfboards securely strapped to the roof, the salty scent of the ocean filled the air. The radio played tunes that set the mood for the day ahead, adding to the mounting excitement. They prepared their boards upon arrival, waxing them up and tightening their leashes. The waves roared, crashing against the shore in a rhythmic dance, inviting the adventurous spirits of the surfers. Griff, the pack leader, paddled out first, feeling the salty ocean spray on his face. The waves were challenging, but that's precisely what they sought. The others followed suit, each handling a mix of excitement and caution as they headed into the heart of the waves. Unbeknownst to them, that fateful day at Breakneck Bay would hold an unexpected and life-changing event. The waters concealed a secret, an evil force that would soon unleash its fury on Mark, altering the trajectory of his life in ways they could never have foreseen. The waves roared that day at Breakneck Bay, each swell reaching greater heights than the last. Mark, Griff, Tessa, and Royce were riding the waves, the thrill of the ocean coursing through their veins. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, Mark spotted a shadowy figure gliding beneath the surface. His heart skipped a beat as fear shot through him. A chill ran down his spine. Shark-infested waters weren't just a rumor, they were a reality. He yelled to his friends, "Shark, clear the water!" Panic set in. Tessa paddled frantically, trying to reach the shore. Griff and Royce were close behind, their hearts racing. But fate had other plans. The water erupted as a massive shark lunged towards Mark. Teeth gnashed, and within seconds the predator clamped onto his arm, its razor-sharp teeth slicing through flesh and bone. Mark fought back, adrenaline surging. He landed powerful blows on the shark's snout, desperately trying to free himself. The struggle was intense, a life-and-death battle in the heart of the ocean. Blood tainted the water, swirling like a macabre dance. The pain was excruciating, but Mark's survival instinct kicked into high gear. Summoning every ounce of strength, he wrenched his arm free from the shark's relentless grip. The shark, momentarily stunned by the ferocity of Mark's fight, retreated into the depths. Bleeding and disoriented, Mark caught a wave to the shore where his friends anxiously awaited him. Griff and Royce quickly fashioned a tourniquet from a surfboard leash, attempting to stem the bleeding. The sight was harrowing. Mark's arm was mangled, a gruesome testament to the shark's brutal attack. Waves of pain coursed through him as he struggled to remain conscious. At that moment, their carefree surf day had transformed into a fight for life. Mark's courage had been tested in the face of nature's raw power. The shark-infested waters had claimed their victim, forever changing Mark and his friends. Tessa, tears streaming down her face, had already alerted the lifeguards. They arrived swiftly, their expertise a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil. The lifeguards acted quickly, securing Mark on a makeshift stretcher and rushing him to the waiting ambulance. In the hospital, the medical team worked tirelessly to stabilize Mark. His arm was severely damaged, and the risk of infection was high. It was a long and agonizing night as surgeons fought to save what remained of Mark's limb. His family, notified of the grave situation, rushed to his side. The surgery was a success, but Mark's recovery would be grueling. He woke up to the harsh reality of his situation, his arm heavily bandaged and immobilized. The pain was relentless, but Mark was determined. He had faced a shark in the ocean and survived. He was not about to give up now. His family, friends, and fellow surfers rallied around him, providing unwavering emotional support. Tessa, who had been there from the beginning, was a constant source of strength, holding his hand through the darkest moments. He pushed himself through every exercise, every moment of pain, with one goal in mind: to regain the use of his arm and return to the waves he loved so much. Mark's journey to recovery wasn't just physical, it was emotional and psychological too. The near-death experience had left its scars, haunting his dreams and triggering moments of intense anxiety. But Mark was resilient. He sought therapy to help him cope with the trauma and gradually found his way back to a sense of normalcy. Though forever marked by scars, his arm regained a surprising amount of functionality. He could surf again, albeit with modifications and accommodations. His return to the ocean was a triumphant moment, a testament to his indomitable spirit. He continued to surf, his love for the waves stronger than ever. His family, forever changed by that fateful day, treasured every moment together, knowing the fragility of life. The story of Mark's shark attack spread through the surfing community and beyond. It became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the unpredictable power of nature. Ultimately, Mark's journey was not just about surviving a shark attack, but also about embracing life's challenges, facing them head-on, and emerging more substantially on the other side. In the coastal town of Blue Harbor in the summer of 1998, the beaches were bustling with tourists and locals alike. Blue Harbor has a rich history, known for its pristine waters and abundant marine life. Legend spoke of ancient shipwrecks and hidden treasures beneath its waves, making it a popular spot for divers and treasure hunters. Among the regulars was Linda Mitchell, a 45-year-old diving instructor passionate about marine conservation. With her sun-kissed skin, salt-sprayed hair, and a spirit as vast as the ocean, Linda was a well-known figure in the community. She ran a small diving school, teaching tourists and locals the wonders of the underwater world. One fateful day, as Linda led a group of novice divers near the coral reefs, she noticed something unusual. A large shadow lurked in the distance, moving swiftly and purposefully. As it came closer, the unmistakable silhouette of a bull shark emerged. Bull sharks were uncommon in Blue Harbor, and their presence was a cause for concern. Known for their unpredictable behavior, they could pose a threat, especially to inexperienced divers. Linda quickly signaled her group to ascend and regroup on the boat. Once everyone was safely aboard, she investigated the shark's presence further. Armed with her underwater camera, she dived back in, maintaining a safe distance from the creature. As she observed, she realized that the shark had a fishing net tangled around its fin, restricting its movement and causing visible distress. Linda knew she had to help, but approaching a distressed bull shark was risky. She needed a plan. Recalling an old fisherman's trick, she used a shiny object to distract the shark. Retrieving a spare diving knife from her boat, she dived back in, using the knife's reflection to catch the shark's attention. As the shark curiously approached the glinting object, Linda cautiously moved closer, attempting to cut the net without alarming the creature. Every second felt like an eternity, with the vast blue ocean around her and the powerful predator inches away. Minutes felt like hours, but Linda's determination and experience prevailed. The net was freed from the shark's fin with one final cut. Sensing its newfound freedom, the bull shark swiftly swam away, disappearing into the depths. Linda's heart raced as she returned to the surface, her mission accomplished. The divers on the boat cheered, having witnessed the daring rescue from above. News of Linda's brave act spread throughout Blue Harbor, earning her the title of Shark Savior. However, the incident raised concerns about the safety of the waters. The presence of a bull shark near the famous diving spot was alarming. Linda realized that this was just the beginning of a bigger challenge. The town needed to address the issue, ensuring the safety of its residents and marine life. As the sun set over Blue Harbor, Linda sat on the beach reflecting on the day's events. She knew that the real battle was yet to come. The shark's presence was a sign of changing marine patterns, possibly due to overfishing or climate change. Linda decided to encourage the community, aiming to find a solution that would protect both the people and the marine life of Blue Harbor. Linda organized a town meeting at the Blue Harbor Community Center the following week. The hall was packed with concerned residents, local fishermen, and representatives from nearby towns. The buzz of worried chatter filled the room until Linda took the stage. She presented data on the declining fish populations in the region, which could drive predators like bull sharks closer to the shore in search of food. Additionally, discarded fishing nets and marine pollution harmed marine life, leading to situations like the one she had encountered. Linda proposed a twofold plan. First, the community would establish a marine conservation zone, limiting fishing in certain areas to allow fish populations to recover. Second, they would launch a cleanup drive to remove discarded nets and other debris from the water, preventing entanglements and injuries to marine animals. Over the next few months, Blue Harbor transformed. The community came together for beach cleanups every weekend. Local schools started educational programs on marine conservation. Fishermen began using safer, eco-friendly nets and practices, reducing the risk of marine entanglements. Linda's diving school became a hub for marine conservation awareness. Tourists and locals alike were educated about the importance of preserving the marine ecosystem and the dangers of disrupting the delicate balance of nature. As the year progressed, the positive effects of the community's efforts became evident. Fish populations rebounded and fewer dangerous marine animals were spotted near the shore. The conservation zone was deemed a success and was extended for another year. One evening, as Linda was wrapping up a diving session, she spotted a familiar shadow in the distance. It was the same bull shark she had rescued, identifiable by a distinct scar on its fin. The shark circled her momentarily as if acknowledging her before swimming away peacefully. Linda smiled, realizing that coexistence was possible. The harmony between humans and marine life in Blue Harbor was a testament to what a community could achieve when united by a common purpose. Years later, Blue Harbor became a model for other coastal towns. Linda's bravery and the community's collective efforts were a beacon of hope, proving that humans and nature could thrive side by side with understanding and collaboration.